And it's working.
Welcome to the Zoom Test Kitchen, where the magic happens live. Every Friday we're on air, testing tech to thrive. From screen share to breakout rooms, we push Zoom to its max. So sit back, relax, and let's see what's in our tech hacks. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. We'll dive into the settings, explore every single tab. Make sure your mic is clear, your camera not a drab. We'll show you how to host like a pro, manage like a king. With Zoom Test Kitchen, you'll be zooming with a zing. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. Whether you're new to Zoom or an expert in disguise, we've got tips and tricks. We'll open up your eyes. From polls to quizzes, we test functionalities. Join us live, see what Zoom does with ease. So if your meetings lag, or you can't share your screen, or if your audio echoes like you're stuck in between, we've got solutions, we'll show you how it's done. Zoom Test Kitchen, where Zoom fun has begun. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. So tune in, don't miss out on this tech fest we lead. Every Friday, Zoom Test Kitchen, where you'll succeed. We'll make your Zoom meeting smooth, keep the tech in check. In the Zoom Test Kitchen, we've got your back, no wreck. So tune in, don't miss out on this tech fest we lead. Every Friday, Zoom Test Kitchen, where you'll succeed. We'll make your Zoom meeting smooth, keep the tech in check. In the Zoom Test Kitchen, we've got your back, no wreck. These lyrics capture the essence of what the Zoom Test Kitchen does, focusing on testing and teaching about Zoom functionalities in a fun, engaging way. We're zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. We've got your back, no wreck. We've got your back, no wreck. These lyrics capture the essence of what the Zoom Test Kitchen does, focusing on testing and teaching about Zoom functionalities in the fun, engaging way.
Hey everyone. Wait, I have to press the button. Ugh, it's even worse when the gallery is stuck there in the way to find the thing and press the thing and then go over here, and there we are. Hi everybody. Welcome to the Zoom Test Kitchen. I'm your friendly neighborhood Rabbi David, and hey, look what I got. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but when I first opened Zoom today, so I opened this what do you call it? This meeting. Let me see if I can show it to you.
Thingamabob, David.
Thingamabob. Here. So this is, can you, yeah. So it's right over here. I'm sorry, my screen is so busy, but this was up in the right-hand corner. It was like nowhere near the Zoom stuff. This was up in the right-hand corner. Note-taking is available. And then that blue little doohickey went along, and then it went away. It was there for a good like 20, maybe even 30 seconds.
That's the floaty I mentioned last week.
Ah, see, I got the floaty. Thank you. I was being impatient. I got the floaty. So there you go. There's a floaty now. Let's say hi to people. Hey, Mike. How are you?
Doing good, David. How is the week?
The week is good. The week is good, and our live streaming worked. So I'm feeling pretty good about that.
Yeah, confidence is a good thing, David.
Yeah, work. Confidence is a good thing. It did take me 7 tries to actually get the channel in the app. Clearly, I'm the only person using this app. That is pretty obvious to me. But oh wait, there's something on my screen. In any case, good to see you.
Of
Hey,
course.
you want to see something cool? Wait, look at this.
Sure.
Watch what I'm going to do. Hold on. Hold on. So this is, can I hold on. Can I pop this out? No, I can't pop it out. That's okay. All right. So check this out. Ready? There you are. But look at this. I'm in Zoom ISO now. And look what I can do. I can crop in and out. They just released this earlier this week. So not only do you have the color adjustments here, but now you've got the cropping also. I'd love it if I could like just grab the square and just drag it around, but you can't do that yet. But I could rotate Mike. Wait, that didn't really take actually, but oh yeah, it did. No, it did. Sorry. In any case, that's a new fun thing. We can make everyone stare at Mike for a while. I thought that would be fun. Who else is here? Who else is here? I can't see. TTG ISO. No, that's me. Miss Steven.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Your
good.
set looks a lot brighter today.
Oh, I'm just doing different things.
But it's great. Like I like the look.
Oh, good. Okay. That's good. I'm trying out different things.
I love it.
I'm
Are you a drummer?
So I went wider.
Yes, I can see that. Yeah.
Instead of tighter.
Your head isn't quite as big as it
I don't have
usually
the
is.
giant head in this. Yeah, I'm just a little low right now. I just have to change my desk height and I'll be totally fine. So
Yep.
just recovering from matzah overload.
Yeah, me too. Pizza last night. John Drinkwater, look at you being all fancy over there.
I know, it's good, isn't it?
Look at you, all dressed up.
I'm not real, am I?
It's AI.
Oh,
If you
God,
look at
that's
the
his
top-
avatar.
If you look in the
hold
top
on,
corner, you can see I'm
hold
not
on.
real.
Yeah, we're going to paint. Hold on. Okay, there we go. So
I am a Zoom AI avatar, much more handsome than my fake real person. And it's really good
Okay.
because I can look at something completely different and my eyes keep staring
Don't
in your
move.
eyes.
Here's what I'll say. When you're in gallery mode, it works. Like when if you're on a really, I have a like an 8-inch monitor here. If you're looking at an 8-inch monitor and you're looking at gallery mode, the avatars work.
My hands don't work though.
Well, I mean, like I didn't know. I thought you were just dressed up. But now, of course, now that you're full screen, you look ridiculous. And now you don't.
No, I
And
look completely ridiculous.
Now you look completely ridiculous. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, thank you for doing that. Yeah, we looked at mine last week, and that was not a pretty sight necessarily. Maybe there's more to talk about there. Hey, Frank,
Given
how are you, sir?
Another week, it'll be totally indistinguishable at the speed.
Another week. That's all it's going to take. Yeah.
You know, it's like everything we think is going to take a long time happens overnight, and then the things we think happen overnight take years.
Yep. Frank, how are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm good. I'm doing well. Good to see you.
Thanks.
Hasmik, how are you, sir? Good to see you, sir. Are those all, what's behind you? Are those all screens or books? Can't tell. I think I'm going blind. I think that's my problem. Oh, no, those are books. Oh, and pictures. Yeah, we can't hear you, though, for some reason. You're unmuted in Zoom, but I think you have a hard mute over there. Unless that's your avatar again. Maybe everyone is showing up today in avatars. No, we can't hear you yet. I'll let you keep working on that while I say hello to Peter Sargent. Hello, Peter.
Hello, sir.
How you doing?
Not too bad. I enjoyed last night.
Yeah, last night was a fun conversation. I had no idea that Courtney and Dave were going to disagree so vehemently with one another. It was fantastic. Loved it.
I'm not sure. I would never have pictured Courtney as a Luddite.
He did come across. We had a show on the rundown last night. We were talking about the Artemis mission and the idea that technology pushes us forward. And Courtney Goodwin, a good friend of ours and from the office hours community, did come across as a little bit of a Luddite. You're absolutely right. Okay, John is now a cartoon character, which is really nice. But there's also Sebastian is here. Hello, Sebastian. Roland is here. I think that's everyone. Is that everyone? I think so.
You can hear me now?
I can hear you now. That's a nice shot of you. Is that a different camera?
Yeah, I eventually succumbed to a Sony ZV E10 II.
It looks really nice.
I just got it today.
Do you have touch up my appearance turned on?
That's interesting.
You don't have any pores. Like you look very smooth, like artificially smooth.
Was that me?
Yeah.
Yes,
you.
yes, sir.
Yes, you, Hosma.
Oh God, I didn't know I was that handsome. God, jeez.
You are that handsome. You are that good. Yeah, you may want to check if you have.
We need an ugly filter.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's the camera has so many settings around auto zoom and facial and eye, and I just didn't have
This
time
is just
to
a
go
Zoom
through it.
setting. The touch up my appearance is just in your Zoom video.
Oh,
settings.
okay, maybe. Yeah,
So
I'll check it
yeah,
out.
you may want to check.
Yeah.
But it's a really nice shot. Paul K, how are you, sir?
Do well. Happy Friday, y'all. Great to see you. A lot of familiar faces from office hours, so good to see you in the flesh.
Happy Friday, in the flesh, kind of. King Productions. Is that you, King Productions?
Yeah, super original name. Last name is King, so
it works.
It's the
It's
OG
perfect.
name, right? Yeah.
It's perfect. Fantastic. All right, folks. So there's other than Zoom ISO 3.0.1, I think that's the number that we're on.
Yep.
The time we're on.
Yes.
Dropping, which still has a couple of bugs. I've just found one today, actually. I minimized, so I've got Zoom ISO open over here. I minimized the meeting because when you're using Zoom ISO, unless I don't really need the meeting window itself. I just need the controls. So I minimized the meeting, and now I can't get it back. I just have a blank screen here for the meeting. So I'm not entirely sure. There it is. I just found it. So you know what it is? That's interesting. So if I minimize this, then a couple things happen. The minimizing creates this little guy over here, right?
Mm-hmm.
It creates this little guy over here, which I have on this other screen. And then, but if I go down here and I say show all windows, no, that didn't work. Where is it? Where's the, before I clicked like, I clicked a something. I don't remember. Oh, maybe I clicked meeting. Right. I couldn't find it. So then I said hide Zoom window. Then I did show Zoom window. And it brought this blank thing up. That was the workflow. So let me just see. And then I wanted to close this because, well, I don't want a blank window, but it tells me to leave the meeting. So let me actually, and then you can't minimize this. That's the other thing. So let me real quick, let me just walk through that so that Andy or whoever can see. All right. So here I am. I'm in ISO, right? I don't need this window really. So I'm going to minimize it. Boom. Now it did minimize it into this little guy, which I just ignore most of the time. I had it on a different screen. And so then I wanted to get the meeting back. So my first thought was, we'll come down here and choose Zoom meeting from here, but that wasn't there. I didn't see it here. So I said, all right, hide that window and now show it to me. And it brings up this blank window, which I then can't close because that will have me leave the meeting. And I can't minimize it either. Minimizing doesn't do anything. So what I have to do then is show full meeting window, and then I get it back. And then I can minimize it again. So I don't know that anyone would ever do that, but I did it. So there you go, Andy, or whoever's watching. I don't know that there's any other news other than the cropping that I was showing before. Hey, Sebastian, how you doing? So what are people working on? What have we got? What's on our list?
I don't know if you saw they announced is it MCP for Claude?
MCP? What's MCP?
You know, the
Master managed yeah. Yeah, I did see that.
whatever.
Yeah.
So Andy posted it on LinkedIn yesterday or this morning.
But what's the connection to Zoom? What is?
Well, Zoom and Claude. So Claude supports a number of applications like Monday.com, Gmail, and so on.
Gotcha.
So it's a tight integration. So now Claude and Zoom, you can use Claude to interrogate and run reports. And I'm not sure if that's restricted to the AI component of Zoom. It sounds like it doesn't interrogate the backend analytics, for example.
So I'm in Claude now. I just downloaded Claude for Mac, and I signed up for 1 month. I feel like I should be using Claude, but I don't know. So if I go to plugins, here's a Zoom plugin. Plan, build, and debug Zoom integrations across REST APIs, meeting SDKs, video SDKs, yada yada yada.
Yeah. So there's a element for developers for the SDK.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at, I think.
Yeah, and then you have as a user, because I, for example, connected Claude to my Monday.com. So because there's a MCP for Monday.com, and Claude supports that.
Right. So here's the Zoom for Claude. So I was see, this is part of my problem is I'm not used to these guys up here. So I'm on the wrong one. So in chat, you go to customize, connect your apps. You can search for Zoom.
There we go.
I've got Zoom for Claude new.
Yep.
So I don't know what this does. Oh, hello. Okay, Claude MCP connector.
Yep. So you give permissions for it to connect to your Zoom account, and then Claude then has access to your Zoom account, and then you can use Claude to interrogate your Zoom. I assume you can interrogate your Zoom AI reports. So like you can say, go through these meetings and tell me what we discussed and what, instead of just the Zoom AI report that after a meeting it gives you a summary. You can now use Claude to go a little bit deeper.
So how do I add that now, or do I have to? Oh, you do it here, I guess. Connectors. Here you go. Oh no, you don't. Like, how do you?
I think you've already done it. Is the point?
You've done it already. Yeah.
Okay, so you don't have to call it or anything. Go through my most recent meetings in Zoom and summarize
key points.
Some of the key points. Yeah.
The key points. I don't know that I actually have any past recent meetings in Zoom, but let's see.
So there
Claude wants to search meetings from Zoom for Claude. Always allow.
Yeah, you allow it. Yeah.
Claude wants to use recordings list from Zoom for Claude. Always allow. It looks like there are no cloud recordings for the past month. That's true. Recordings list came back empty. It's because my personal account, I never record anything. Okay.
There we go.
Well, there you go. Now tell me, why do I want to use this again? No, I'm sorry.
no.
Instead of using Zoom's built-in.
Yeah, you can get Claude to compose and construct for you the reports that you feel that are better structured for you. So that's I haven't played with Zoom, but what I did do, for example, the Monday.com connector. I asked Claude to interrogate a particular Monday.com board, and I said, okay, this is what you got to do on the board. Include these columns, and can you do a count of how many of that particular project do I have in various stages of the project flow. So then Claude runs that, and what you can do then is you save that, what you have constructed, as a skill. And then you always call up the skill to run it. Or you can say, run this skill and email me the consequent Excel sheet or whatever summary you've made. And then,
That's co-work, isn't it? Is that co-work? What
that's
you're
in
describing?
co-work. Yeah. It's not coding. You just go to co-work.
Right. So I just asked it. I have no idea what it can do. So I said, hey, schedule a Zoom meeting for tomorrow at 2:00. And it said, sorry, I can't do that. This is a read-only integration.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Although, sorry, there's a bug in here. Although, I imagine if I used co-work, it probably could. Schedule a Zoom meeting with, I don't know. No, let me do my wife. Heather Hoskin for tomorrow at 2 p.m.
Spell your last name right.
I did. Oh, yeah. I did correct it. Sorry. There's an extra G in there. So now it's going to, presumably, it's going to open Zoom. See what it does.
It does all that in a backend, so you don't actually see any of it.
Oh, you don't see it? I thought it opened it on your computer.
It'll give you the final output.
Oh, look at this.
Yeah.
What is Heather Paskin's email? I'll type it in. How long should the meeting be?
There we go.
Could you type in?
I could have scheduled a meeting in Zoom, and I've been done by now. The amount of time
I
this
know.
is taking.
Yeah, it's probably true. I just put one of my other email addresses so that my wife doesn't actually think she's in North Carolina right now. I don't want her to think that we actually have a meeting tomorrow.
You obviously
Okay.
you can obviously voice command this so that
Right.
when you're up and about with Claude on your phone, you can then just voice command, set up my meeting with XYZ in Zoom, and off you go.
So I don't have the Chrome extension installed. So now it's going to take over my computer, and it is going to open Zoom, presumably. Yep. So you can't see it. I wonder if I can move this over.
Well, it's
I must confess, what I know about Claude is extremely dangerous. I'm doing Sparky. Is it David Sparky from Mac Sparky? He's got a field guide on turning Claude as your robot, so you can automate what he calls your donkey work.
David
Yeah,
Sparks.
I have to agree
Sparky.
with Frank that at this point, I mean, I would have been done 10 minutes ago. This seems like a tremendous waste to me.
Yeah, but
I
you
had
have
the
to be
same
at
I had the same experience with
ChatGPT.
Yeah, when I tried, they have agent mode. When I tried
Yes.
agent mode, I had the same
Yes.
experience. It was just a terrible. I don't get me wrong. I use these things every day, all day, but for actually doing the work, it's not. Here, it's finally now. Oh crap! What did I just do? I'm getting in the way of it. Okay. All right. Well, it's good to know that there's a Zoom plugin.
I think there's more to it than just the simple things, but obviously we have to dive a little bit deeper. But it sounded like the announcement made a big deal about it, or it was an important milestone.
I mean, this is. So I'm sorry. It's still doing all this. My hands are here. So it typed in meeting with Heather Paskin. It shows tomorrow. Yep, it's choosing the right time now. It's trying to choose the right time now. Come on, you could. There it is. Go get it. There you go. I mean, it's kind of, look, it's clearly not up to, I mean, if it's taking us, 20 minutes to schedule a Zoom meeting. Having said that, it's kind of cool to be able to use natural language and to just have it do something for you.
So what's cool about it? It's just taken over your PC and done something that it has no right to do.
No, I gave it every right to do it. No, I told it to do it. What do you mean it doesn't have a right to do it? Of course it does.
But it's not using an API. It's just typing stuff into your machine and making your Zoom do things.
Right.
I think the point that he's making is there are APIs to do this as well. Right, John?
Yeah, programmatically, there's thousands of APIs.
I'm still waiting for my button. So don't talk to me about APIs. All right. Look, I mean, yes, of course. No.
Where's the sheepish emoji?
Of course you could use an API, but.
So why haven't they? I mean, that's my point, David. That there's the 2,000 APIs. If they can hack all these other systems and break things, then surely they could just get all the APIs and do it programmatically, and it would have taken seconds then, and you wouldn't have to wait for it to type it all in like you are now.
Right. So, John, let me ask you a question though, because
yeah, sure.
I think that my sense of the direction that this is going is that we're not going to need APIs anymore. Right? Like just bear with me for a second. If these tools can figure it out on their own and just do it without that access, then why, and they will get better and they will get faster. Why are the APIs?
See, that's important? Where I would debate that. I would debate that with you, David. They won't get faster than the APIs.
Zoom has already taken your recordings. It's done a summary. It's done a transcript. If this tool comes along and takes the video of your meetings again and goes through the whole process all over again, what a waste of resources. What these tools should do is they should go to your database of in your APIs, get your transcripts. The transcripts will be already been created, so read through the transcripts and process the data you need.
Yeah, I think what you gotta use is Cloud Code instead of the code worker, because code will do the API connections and all that. The code work is doing it kind of like a physical person, so he's doing all the clicks and stuff.
Correct.
Which code doesn't do that. So if you do it on code, it will probably do the API way.
Correct.
So here is the invitation. It emailed it to me. It set up the meeting. Yeah, it took ridiculously long, but okay. How about this? What? It worked.
You wanted to know what's new, so
just ask it if it can switch your original sound on.
What did you say?
Ask if it can turn on your original sound. If it's
all right.
touching your screen, it may be able to do it for you.
It's on a different computer. Let me see. Hold on a second. Turn on original sound in my Zoom ISO audio preferences. That would be sort of funny, actually, if I could just have a standing, action. Okay, it's finding Zoom ISO v3. I'm using Zoom ISO because that's what's on this computer that's logged into this meeting. It's using my computer. Zoom ISO is open. Let me check the audio outputs tab for the original sound setting. All right, it's not going to find it there. The original sound setting isn't there. Let me check the settings tab. It has opened Zoom settings. Okay. See what is it doing now? It's still looking. It's sort of interesting that this tool that has access to my entire computer is having trouble finding the original sound toggle, which is why we need a button.
It's too busy reading all your personal documents. It'll get to that later. There are huge privacy and security concerns with doing this. If it's your personal Zoom account and it's your computer, great. If you're part of an organization or a company, you may want to ask somebody first.
Yeah.
I just put a link in the chat about how to stop people from doing this kind of thing.
Oh, wow. I don't actually know, by the way, that you have original sound in Zoom. Do you know, Peter, do you have original sound in Zoom ISO? Is that even an option?
Peter has stepped away momentarily, David.
Oh, I'm sorry. I couldn't see. I don't know if that's even an option. So, well, I'm going to let it keep working on this and see what it does.
As the person representing user experience and less, the back end programming, as so many of you are so adept at. One of the things, as I cross over into that back of office, is paying attention to all of these things that have implied permission, but you don't know exactly how far that permission has gone. And in this case, it seems like, well, whatever's on the computer, that be up for grabs once you actually do that. So it's interesting. It's also interesting, a lot of lately discussions around Anthropic and how they're able to go out and basically hack just about everything with their new system, and how the government is not even knowing what to do with it, to be honest. So I think that, going back to your original point, David, that it takes so many steps. For me, what I see is a documentation of workflow that will eventually be, pardon the pun, but press the button or just say it and it'll happen. And then for security, the API seems obviously the way that you want to go as compared to anything else, until they change the programming and the coding as they've done in the past. So I think it's actually interesting, even though right now it's impractical.
So it just says, as an update, as you were talking, and I should say it's going a little slower because I have multiple monitors, and because I want you all to see what's happening, I keep moving windows over, and it's confusing Claude because it's looking at one window but it has now found the right place. It's found the settings. It has been scrolling down on this page, and it just turned on original sound for musicians.
Son of a gun.
Wow, there's my button. There's my button.
See, I fixed it for you in the end.
Ask it to build you a button so you don't have to do this every time.
Right. That just made me so happy.
And that only took how long, David?
I know, completely, absurd, completely impractical.
So the idea is press the button, go get a coffee, come back.
Save that as a skill. You know,
right. So now how do I do that?
You just in the text line, where you put in the commands, you just say save this as a skill.
This as a skill. Oops, I misspelled skill. That's okay. All right. So let me actually, I'm going to change it back. And audio settings. Where are my audio settings now? No. All right. It's running a skill. Don't need this anymore. Sorry, I'm trying to find. Don't need this. Don't need this. Settings. There they are. Claude wants to use running command. Okay. Always allow. Don't really know what that means, but I'm going to switch this back.
Then why are
Claude,
you
look at
doing
that.
it?
Because this is the Zoom test kitchen.
You don't care about your computer.
What's the worst that could happen?
Just bought us all brand new cars. Thank you, David.
All right, wait. I have to change this. Audio settings. See, it changed on something, but I don't. Maybe I changed it backward. I'm not sure. Okay. It says it's writing the skill.
Yeah.
So now what does that mean? So now I'll just be able to say run the skill?
No, you'll have to drag the windows across like you did last time so it knows where they are.
Okay. So tell me about APIs again. 8:07 tonight, everyone. We're watching in after hours. There's a watch party starting about an hour early, but there's a watch party to watch NASA and Artemis come back and splash down. Thank you, Stephen, for popping that reminder in the chat there.
Hey, David.
I'm very geeky about that stuff. I've been trying to catch the dang thing with my telescope.
With your telescope?
Yeah. You know, like get video image of the actual like flyby. I've failed. I failed. Don't get excited. I tried to get the coordinates and set that up and track it, and it was like it didn't quite work.
All right, the skill has been created. It says what we used, document the exact navigation path we used, one note on evals, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so now save skill. So now how do I run a skill?
You go back to, you just say new task, and you say run whatever that skill name is. Yeah.
ISO skill?
Yeah, whatever you named it.
I didn't name it. It didn't ask me to name it.
It would have named it by default.
Oh,
it's running
okay, so
the
it's,
skill.
Yeah, so it's doing it now. Okay.
Yeah.
Oops. Didn't mean to do that. Oh, well. Okay. Well, that was fun. So it's now going through it again. It's taking just as long. So I thought maybe if it was like quicker. Very interesting. Well, thank you, Claude. I appreciate that.
I'm curious.
What else are people?
Yeah, I was just going to chime in here, David. A couple weeks
Please.
ago, VizRT released their trial of Interactify.
Yeah.
Has anyone here used it?
I actually saw an ad for that on Facebook the other day. I was surprised for that and Captivate. The other one is Captivate. I have not used it. Let's see if I can find it. VizRT.
Yeah, it looks like they've got a 90-day trial then you obviously you could upgrade after the trial ends, but there's no info on pricing, subscription, etc. But it looks like it could be an interesting tool for Zoom users or clients that aren't as technically advanced as most of us on the call.
What was it called? Not captive.
Interactify.
Interactify.
They use a play on the AI at the end.
Yeah, the AI. There we go. All right. So here it is. Sign up for a free trial. Didn't I do this? I thought I did this already. Oh, maybe I didn't. All right. Oh, it has, you want it to be associated with your Zoom account. Okay. I don't really want to give you my phone number. United States. Florida. What's my vertical? Oh, okay. Content. Oh, I'm a content creator. Sure. Can I briefly brief a Zoom test kitchen? Let's see if this gets me in right away. Get VizRT Interactify now. What? First name is required. I did have my first name in there, didn't I? I'm not a robot. Get VizRT. Okay. Download. Continue to the Zoom Marketplace to download the app and get started. Well, I don't really want to add it for others. I want to add it for me. Do I already have it? Add it for myself. Okay. Allow. I think I'm not going to have to join this meeting from a fifth client. Oh, so we can see this. Launch Zoom Workplace app. Okay. Robert, how you doing?
Good, thanks. I was listening to you on the car on YouTube, and when you said, will someone remind me what I got this for, referring to Claude, I just cracked up and said, I need to come on today.
Okay. VizRT, here it comes. All right. So I'm about to join VizRT and for a 3-month free trial. Here's what I need to know. Full access for 3 months. No payment required now. Upgrade after trial ends. After 3 months, you'll need to upgrade. Okay, I'm going to start my free trial. I should have done this beforehand.
Two sentence entry summary, please.
This is VizRT Interactify. We actually heard about it about a month ago, maybe from Andy.
Okay.
So we're
just kind of the
playing
same
with it now.
Kind of the same thing as graphics
SPX,
toolkit.
yeah, SPX
yeah, it
graphics
looks very
is a
much
good
like
comparison.
Yeah. I'm just going to turn everything on and see what happens. Meeting it. Oh, well, there's a lot of stuff here. Waiting room, social feed. All right, well, let's start with these 4. Okay. So now theme. Make this a little bigger for us. Classic, modern. Okay.
Can you make it more legible?
Not really.
Yeah, David, your share screen is pretty low quality for some reason.
Yeah, and I can't, it doesn't let me zoom in, unfortunately. I'm sorry about that.
And you zoomed in well enough, but it's just really low resolution.
Yeah, I don't really know why. Okay, so I don't entirely know what to do now. So I guess now I have to join this meeting. So let me join this meeting. Oh, wait, sorry. I want to make sure I don't do audio. We don't need that. Okay. And then the code is this. And if you could let me in, that would be awesome. Okay. All right. So now I'm in this meeting again. And now I'm going to go to, I guess, apps. That's where it would be, right? Q&A, apps. Where are apps? Where the heck are my apps? Transcribe. Oh, there they are. Viz RT, Interactify. All right. Okay. So now, guessing I have to turn. Zoom is downloading the utilities required to run in this mode. I hear Frank in my ear. David, don't press the blue button. David, don't press the blue button. Oh, David pressed the blue button. Come on now.
You have a standalone machine that you can not care what happens to?
Yeah, it's got a brick wall around it, about 3 inches thick.
Oh, look. Wait, now there's stuff coming up.
Stuff.
I think he needs an air gap system.
There's no, but look, there's stuff on my.
Yes, you've got name tags.
Yeah. There we go. Okay. So we've got a name tag.
Yeah.
And I can change this, but I don't want to. I've got logo. I can upload an image. I don't think I actually have an image handy, but I'll use, no, that's not a good one. Let me find an image real quick. Just use this one. And see where that puts it. Okay, so that put that up in the left corner, or I can move it to the right corner. Okay. Then I've got a ticker and ticker. Configure ticker's header and headline. Title,
David,
image.
this would be, this is where you could get all kinds of different text and stuff. So you see URL in there, that's where you can actually get a live ticker of, if you want sports, live sports to come in at the bottom, all of a sudden this is where you go into like get RSS feeds and such.
Right. It's actually, let's see if is it, can you double spotlight that the other David Paskin also, so we can see it?
Yep, momentarily.
Yeah, because it already has a Google Sheet URL in here.
And the other David, yes, I can. There you go. There you are.
Awesome, thank you. I don't want to do that. Okay. So now we can actually see it. Viz Flowix using Google Sheets data provider, right? And then we've got an agenda. I want to see the agenda because this is actually, let me turn the timer off. So here's what's interesting to me about this agenda is that I use, let me pull it up real quick. I use something similar to this, but this would actually be really, would this work? Oh no, it wouldn't work for me. But this is really nice. So, what's new in the kitchen? And then second is Mike's Madness. And then we've got John rants about APIs. And then closing. All right, there you go. Show graphic in meeting. Huh. I guess you could just use it as a sidebar agenda for yourself. Then what's this Q&A overlay? So Q&A, oh, it's just for you to type something, I think. Engage audience in a Q&A activity. This is a message. Title, Q&A. And what is that? Just like you can just put a question up on the board, I guess.
Well, we can't put in.
Yeah, it's just prompting a question. It's not integrated with Zoom.
You can't actually do anything with it. Yeah. A poll, interactive polling. Now, how does this work? This says interactive. So, oh, look at this. this is directly integrated. So here's our first question. What's your favorite ice cream? Poll options. Vanilla. You can't use keys. You have to physically click. Chocolate. Strawberry. I take offense at strawberry as an ice cream flavor, but that's okay. So that's question 1. And let's do it. I'm going to, again, put it on the right. And I'm going to open poll. Let's see what happens. Did anything happen, or is it, again, just on the screen? No, people have to be able to.
I can't see anything.
Are you a co-host with that?
Copy poll link. All right, so wait, there was a poll link.
Yeah, because it's outside Zoom.
Well, that seems silly. Hold on. Copy poll link. Okay. I'm trying to paste that into the chat. There we go. Okay, so I just pasted it into the chat.
Yeah, so we have to open the web page that the link's given to us, and then we can give the answer.
Okay. All right. I mean,
it's a good start, but if they don't integrate it much more with Zoom, then other products are going to knock it into a cop hat. And I've already had a meeting with them and told them that.
Oh, really? With VisRT?
Yeah. However, I would ignore that one because it needs a lot of work. It's good ideas, but it needs a lot of work. And I think there's lots of other apps that are already as good, if not better.
Yeah, I agree.
However, the big however is that's their one extreme product. The other extreme, David, is how they have those TV shows where they have a virtual background and, graphics appear out of thin air and stuff.
Yeah.
They have written a link to connect that with Zoom.
That's the Captivate thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I can sign up for a free trial of that, can I?
No, you can't.
Don't you also need hardware for that?
Yeah, $10,000 worth. And a $40,000 license.
Can we just go back to that poll for a second? Because it doesn't seem that dumb for me if you're doing hybrid events. I mean, I can imagine I'll take that URL, make a QR code, stick it on the screen. People click it in the hybrid event. They don't have to join Zoom. They vote and we get all the results.
Yeah, well, I totally agree, Robert. But there are lots of apps that do that already. So there's, it's good, but then.
But the difference is, John.
Well, no, to do it outside.
But the difference is that those other, like, for example, the one that I use, what is it called? Someone help me. Uno, overlays.uno. So overlays.uno has a lot of this stuff. But what's challenging about overlays.uno is that the only way to connect it to Zoom is by using a third-party service and bringing it in as an overlay, whereas this is integrated right into Zoom. So that's the fact. I mean, it's Zoom Graphics Toolkit in many ways. It isn't, because it has things that Zoom Graphics Toolkit doesn't have, but it's that kind of. If we could take those two things and put them together. So you can
that's
get
my
real
point,
time,
David.
Right. If we can get
there
real
are lots
time
of really
meeting,
good apps there, and if they could all sort of think about each other or work together and just take it just to that next level. I agree with Robert. You want to be able to do an app. You want to be able to allow people who are in hybrid to click on an app on their phone. You want people who are in the meeting to be able to either answer in chat or to launch the polls and things in Zoom. It's all technically possible. But we just need to encourage them all to compete with each other so that they all upgrade their features just one little bit more to make it a bit more useful.
Right. But again, they're doing different things. So Zoom Graphics Toolkit is all about taking data from within the meeting and then putting it up on the screen. This is not about that at all. This is about giving you a space to just create, design information and put it up on screen. What I'd like is both of those in one. neither of them do that yet.
But this is cool from another perspective, David, because you did this on the fly.
Yes.
Yeah, and it came up immediately in a graphics presentation on your screen.
Yeah, it was easy. It was not difficult at all.
You didn't need
no, and if you don't need that meeting data, if you're comfortable just having an agenda up or a timer or whatever, then I mean, it does connect to social feeds. Let's see what the social feed does. So what is that? How's that connecting? X or Instagram? Well, I'm afraid to connect it to X, and I don't have an Instagram, so I'm not going to actually do that. But I was watching CNN yesterday, and there's a show now. I don't remember the name of the show, where on the side of the screen there's a text chat of like all these different people, and this makes me think of that with the social stuff just kind of coming and streaming along.
It looks like you just got a social comment in there. Username to @username.
Well,
to.
no, that's just a placeholder. Yeah, because I didn't actually connect.
Because you didn't connect it. Okay. Yeah.
Right. Now, what's the waiting room? This is display visuals while your audience is waiting. Bye, Stephen. Have a good one.
Oh, go into that, please. That sounds interesting.
We'll be right with you. Of course, you can do this now natively in Zoom.
As chat, not as visuals.
Sure. No. You can do it in visuals. Sure, you can. Okay. Now, this is interesting. Okay, this is not Zoom's waiting room. This is a hold screen. That's all this is. Right.
It's not much different than what I saw in SPX.
Right. I have this hold screen, and that's all that is. That's just a hold screen. So it takes over your camera feed with whatever you put there.
Yeah. Again, it didn't actually shut down the camera. The camera's probably still on. It's just a literal full page cover up of an overlay.
That's exactly what it is. Because watch when you can see it. I mean, it's a hold screen.
Didn't you do this on the fly once again? I mean, that image of you in the waiting room is an image that you uploaded before the meeting started. Now you've just done something on the fly, surely.
No, but again, this isn't there. They call it a waiting room here, but it's not in the waiting room.
Oh, so what are we seeing here?
This is just in the meeting. This is just my camera feed.
Screen.
It's a hold screen. That's all it is.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's a hold screen. Within Zoom itself, you can set up very fancy waiting room things. You can have videos. You can have an image with text. You don't even. This is just a hold screen. So you're running your program. You're not using, vMix or Ecamm or Mimo or any of those. You're not even in Zoom's broadcast production where I'm sure they have this type of thing also. You're just a regular old Zoom user and you want to have VizRT, but you don't want people looking at you yet. You spotlight this and people know we'll be right with you. And then as soon as you turn it off, you get a nice little fade into what you're doing.
Right.
It's nice.
And what I was saying before, David, too, was that SPX had something similar to that way back in the day.
David, I'd love to test I'd love to test or see if you see anything on your side, if you're able to add graphics for the other Zoom participants, or if it is just solely for you.
Oh, it's just for me.
For sure.
Yeah, definitely.
There's no way for me to. Yeah.
I had a 2-hour meeting with them, Paul. So
now I could give someone.
It's great production values because they're a TV production company, so it looks sexy right out of the box.
Yeah.
If they can just make a bit more Zoom integration, they've got something really cool there.
Yeah.
Now I can give you control over my graphics. So I went into settings. I said remote graphics control. So if you want to have a graphics person, it's kind of silly to call someone doing this a graphics person because this is so basic. But
Yeah, but think of where they come from, David. They're a TV production house. That's where all their software is. So if they can have
Right.
remote Zoom people coming in and they can now do the graphics for them as they come in as well,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's
So
a really useful thing.
If someone wants to click on that, I think that's that may not be the right URL. Let me know if it isn't.
Yeah, I'm triggering your
Oh,
lower third
great. Okay.
just by clicking the toggle on and off. That's kind of cool.
What does your interface look like? Or did it come up as a Zoom app for you?
Just open in a new browser window in Chrome.
And does it look like the controls that I had on mine?
Yes.
It does. Huh. Oh yeah, look at that. Okay. Thank you, Robert. It's nice. It's very nice. I want to see what this external content is.
When I think this is something that you can get a really non-tech user to make good use of.
Mm-hmm.
You won't take that much training and instruction to get someone to up and running with this tool.
It looks like it only lets you click on or off. It doesn't let you edit text or edit anything.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Good spot.
Let me just
So it's more of a you're not a min of the config. You're just a remote user that can trigger things.
okay. I'm just grabbing a Google Slides link. Copy link. Okay. And now I'm going to put that in here. Failed to sync Google Slides. Wonder why. PDF. Upload PDF. So I should be able to show a PDF from here, right? Okay, so I've now uploaded this PDF. And now I should be able to, you should be able to see it. Why can you not see it? Left, right. Go graphic in meeting. There it is. All right, so I uploaded a PDF. And I have now PDF controllers also. I can go through the PDF. This is actually kind of nice. I can't move it anywhere. I have no control over where it is on the screen, but
Can you change the size of it?
Yeah, because
no,
it's right now it's illegible.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, I don't have any control over that. Yeah, for a PDF, it doesn't really make it. For slides, though, it could, if you're, I'm not sure why the slides aren't working. Try it again. Google Slides. It's saying failed to sync to Google Slides, and I don't know why.
David, it's saying that it needs a Google token.
I don't even know what that means.
Well, that's the part of the API. So you need to go into.
Yeah, in your Google account, you have to actually set up an API key and then
Key and
add
token.
it to this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do you see that?
Go for it,
It's
Pete.
just because all it's asking for is a URL, a Google Slides URL.
But do you need to share that?
Well, yeah, I have it shared.
With
Let
who?
me do this. I made it public.
Okay.
But did you grab the share link?
Let me do this. I'm just gonna. And then. Okay, and then share. I want general access. Anyone with the link.
But copy the link. Copy the link.
Yeah, I know. It's what I did. Oh, I don't want Zoom phone. No, it's not working with Zoom with Google Slides. Doesn't quite know what to do. Interesting. Now look at that. See how it. I have both turned off, and that one's turned on for some reason. I don't know. It's okay.
David, just going back to that PDF, does it allow you to zoom into the PDF?
No. I can't make it bigger. I can't move it. I can't do anything with it.
It looks like you can only move it right or left. Yeah, you had an option for right and left.
I did?
It looked like that at the bottom.
Oh, really? Hold on. I'm sorry.
Maybe I was looking at that.
No. That was advanced.
Yeah,
that
but right there says position, says right or no?
There's right or left, but that's just you want it on the right side of the screen or the left side
right.
of the screen.
Yeah, it doesn't let
you don't get to
zoom
nudge it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't nudge it. But it's interesting that the image is so much farther to the edge than the PDF was. Let me grab that PDF again. PDF. All right, so here's the PDF brochure. Turn it on. See, it's so far to the. I don't understand why it's farther out here. Why we don't have as much space. Zero nudging capabilities. Yeah.
I know what this is for. This is for when doctors and people in pharmaceutical give a big spiel about how good certain medicines are, and they have to come with a disclaimer at the end.
The disclaimer.
So they stick it up. I did it. It was up for 30 seconds.
That's what it is. Okay. That's the minimal view, or look rather. Here's the modern look. And here's the classic look. And then you have all these colors. You can change the fonts.
David, all you need now on that screen is donations coming up the right-hand side, special thanks, chat messages, and
right.
and you and second screen with the game you're playing, and you'll be winning.
Right.
Frank is shouting out to you.
Yeah, come on, Frank, bring us back down to earth.
SG1 reference.
No, I want to ask a question about this. Does anyone know what this costs? Like, I imagine it's a subscription, monthly or yearly. What does it cost to do this?
Wait a second. I just clicked upgrade. Oh my goodness. $75 a year for yearly, or $90 if you're going month by month. $750 a month.
That's pretty reasonable if you're the kind of person who needs this.
Unlimited graphics, custom brand graphics, remote control, full Zoom integration. That's not really true, but continue to Zoom ISV. What is Zoom ISV? What's ISV stand for?
Independent software vendor.
Oh, okay. Huh. Zoom partners deliver innovative solutions. No, it's got to be innovative solution vendor, I bet. ISV.
Well, let's put it this way. The acronym has been around, at least that I know of, since the 70s, and we didn't use the word innovative back then.
Well, Zoom has made it better. Make ISV great again. That's what they did. Okay. Well, that was fun. Thank you. Good call on looking that up. There's a demo webinar for Captivate for anyone who's interested on May 28th. Wait, should I do that? Maybe I'll do that. That would be fun.
Hey, they can ask you a
May-
question on Zoom ISO v3.
Yeah, please.
If you say you bring participants through Zoom ISO, how do you send them back, like the chat or the gallery from the main meeting? Like you
Say that
bring
one more time.
people.
How do you send them?
Yeah,
How do you
so
send them back? What do you mean?
you bring in participants into the Zoom ISO part, and then you have a separate meeting, which is like your main, kind of the main big meeting, and then you bring in each participant, right? But you want to send them back the chat that's happening at the main meeting or the gallery.
Right. So
How would you do
that
that?
is not, my understanding is that that's not built in right now.
Mhm.
So the workflow, as I understand it right now, is so I've got Mike here. Let me actually take off this crop. Did I already? Yeah, I did. Full view cropped. Yeah. Okay, good. So let me unapply changes. Let me grab another person. I'll grab you. Where are you? Ooh, Sebastian. There we go. Okay. So I've now got two folks here in Zoom ISO, and I can send both of you. I'll do via NDI. And now over here in Ecamm for me, because that's the one that I choose, I now have both of your cameras. So I can just drag you right up here and boom, boom, boom. So great. So now I've built a scene. So I've got you guys now in here. But now to get chat back to you, I would need to somehow scrape.
I'd use Zoom graphics to pull the chat from the other meeting, create a web page, and then you could
with a
just
URL.
share that. Say again?
share that URL back to the meeting you're bringing Zoom ISO in.
And I guess how would you do the gallery? Just like
You'd have to scrape it, I think.
and back to
or tiles and make up
Or
your own
tiles.
gallery.
Yeah. There's right now, there's no, that I understand, there's no kind of feedback that you can send back.
There's no concept of going across meetings normally.
Right. Which is one of the arguments, by the way, for Zoom for Production Studio, because then you're not going across meetings, but you can still, you still have a lot of that control and the data flowing both ways. I think, am I correct about that?
Yeah,
is that a
definitely.
fair statement?
You could run a TV studio like that. So you could have your
Right.
TV guests, bring them into backstage, and then they could watch what's going on in the webinar, which would be the TV show. And then you could bring them from backstage onto on stage, and then they could join the TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or even promote too. So all of a sudden, if somebody was in the crowd, you could actually have them promoted, and it will be seen in Production Studio too.
I had actually a fantastic event this week with Zoom Production Studio that I'd like to share with you, if that's okay. It was the first time for all of the participants, and they were actually thrilled by the fact that because it was we had a webinar, of course, that they had the backstage and we could get set up and then put everyone onto the stage when they needed. And it was also with interpretation, which made it more interesting for me anyway. But you know what they liked most and I liked most? Every time I put someone on stage, doesn't matter who was doing what, I just asked them to share their screen. We got everything set up, and that didn't affect what the attendees saw until I changed it. I was in control to change it, and it was absolutely clean and superb. When they saw the recordings, the client was absolutely thrilled, really thrilled. There was no, can you see my screen? Am I in the right view on PowerPoint? It was just so clean, very clean.
Robert, how much of that was production studio and how much of that was you having control over the share?
Well, the production studio was what the users had influence on. In other words, getting their share correctly so
No,
that
but
they could see it.
I guess what I'm asking is what do you think made what was the thing that made the difference, that made it go so well? Was it the tool or was it you sort of running it?
Oh, David, you really don't want me to answer that question, do you?
No, I do. No, I'm serious. Like,
No.
was the tool that good or?
No, I actually love Production Studio since it's gone into the cloud. And the beauty about it is once you've set up your event, you can play with it, test it, and streamline it and clean it out until you're ready to go. So it leaves. And now let me tell you the best part. I run Ecamm on a different machine and I feed that into Production Studio as a user. So whenever someone comes up and says, "Oh, can you do this?" last minute when you're already started, throw it into Ecamm, bring it up.
Right.
And I've got a user called Dot, and he just comes up with the Ecamm feed. And to tell you the truth, David, I've been playing with Ecamm over the last 3 weeks now to see if I can use it as a media player because I got fed up. I've been testing QLab, I've been testing I've been testing MITI, sorry, and I've been getting pretty frustrated with Playout B. And so I took Ecamm, and it's actually a really good media playout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just put your video in a scene and it goes.
And you can play two things at the same time, which is brilliant. You can put up an image and you can select music. You can set up a playlist. That it just works.
Yeah. That's great.
Yes, so I was really pleased with that. But I did have one problem though, and I'd like to throw this on the table because this client was not enthusiastic initially. He said he's going to invite 30 people to the webinar. When he saw the effect, he said, "Oh, he's going to invite 100." Then after that, he put the link out, and 450 people registered for the event. And what that meant is that we had to upgrade the license. And this is where we ran into it's the first time I've seen this happen. We ran into a real glitch because all of the people who had registered before we upgraded the license, once we upgraded the license, their link was no longer valid. It sent them back to the registration link, to the registration URL, and they had to re-register.
That sounds like a bug.
It is definitely a bug, and that's why I'm talking about it. And it's something you need to know about because it really messed us up because we saw there was something wrong because we were missing about 100 people and trying to figure out why. And we started calling them because we knew who had registered initially. And they said they had this problem.
Does that mean that you were in a different meeting, that the meeting URL changed?
Well, I don't know what changed, but what it did is it instead of opening the meeting, it just opened the registration page.
But you said they had to re-register. So what I'm wondering is, did they end up re-registering for another meeting?
I don't know if I don't know. We haven't checked that if it's a different meeting number. We haven't done that yet. But when they tried to log into the webinar as an attendee, they were thrown back to the registration page, even though we had added the license the day before, so a lot earlier than we actually started the webinar.
Brian, go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, that's unfortunate. I know for meetings, our meeting licenses are capped to 300, but sometimes we need more. So while the meeting's in progress, we've bought a large meeting add-on, and people have been able to join without having to. So they have a framework. I don't know why it didn't work this time.
You have the same problem if you create a webinar and then you change it to a meeting. Same exact problem. It sends people back to the registration page. Or that's what we had an event here, and that's what happened when we did that. It was set up as a webinar, and then it was changed to a meeting, and all participants were sent to a
That's not
registration
how it's
page.
supposed to work. At least that's not how that wasn't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
In the past,
that's a
that's not
bug.
how it worked.
That's a bug.
Yeah.
I haven't experienced that. It's been pretty good for upgrading an ongoing event in a meeting. But this was Zoom Webinar Plus, so it was, and we actually chose the Zoom events. So it has something to do with the Zoom events jump from 100 of a Zoom Webinar Plus to 500 of a Zoom event. Yeah. So this,
Robert, let me ask you this question. Did the licensing, so when that upgrade happened for the license for the person that made the Webinar Plus in the beginning, did the license have to be taken away and added again to that account?
no, the 100 was still there, and we just added a 500 to it, and we.
Okay, that would, you see where I'm going with that. If the license disappeared, then you might have lost it. But I would have double checked the meeting ID, and there is a little bit of a work through that has been talked about, not approved by Zoom, but we can get into that. I don't know if we want to publicly talk about that on YouTube though, but that there is a bit of a workaround that you could actually do with that.
It'll be interesting to learn that afterwards. But another thing that came up during this this issue is when we hit 100, we just went over 100 to 120, and we made a call and said, well, usually about 20% of people don't come. So if they do come, we will move, and we see the number, because there is a certain tolerance. You can see the attendees numbers go up to, if you have 100, it goes up to 102, 103, 104, and then it gets capped. So if we were to see the thing going up to 100, we were planning on moving selected attendees that we know as panelists, and that would free up some attendee slots. Now, this is what happened was actually interesting, because Zoom claims that the number of panelists you can have in a webinar, and I'm not promoting this by any chance. This was just a workaround that we had to make on the fly. But Zoom says that the number of panelists you can have in a webinar, a Webinar Plus, is equivalent to the number of participants you can have in your meeting license. In other words, if you have a pro, you can have 100. If you have a business, you have 300. Now, we had this particular one, because it was a client's license, he had a pro. And Zoom told him when he contacted them that they would cap the number of panelists to 40, even though the documentation says 100. And I'm just saying this out loud, because if you ever do think that that's a workaround last minute and you're going to save yourself by doing that, it's not going to work.
It's a huge issue.
Well, there are two different issues. The second one I can understand, yeah, because that was a real sort of we were grasping onto straws and trying to figure out how to do something quickly. But we assumed that the documentation is correct. And then when we spoke to someone online at the support desk, they said, no, it's capped for a pro at 40. He didn't tell us, we didn't ask about the business license, but I'm assuming that the documentation says it's 300, that there's also a cap on the 300. But then again, why would you want 300 panelists in a webinar? Well, if you are running a huge event, okay, the multi-day event, and you've got thousands of people attending, you could run into 100 panelists, no problem, because they'd be spread out in time.
Yeah, you also can run a webinar like a meeting when you make everyone a panelist with the extra features of webinar, right? Like backstage and other things.
Yep.
So, you can also make a meeting act like a webinar by denying everybody in the meeting all these different abilities. Conversely, it works both ways, right?
Yeah. But the point is that the license restrictions are not what the documentation says. I think that's the message here. So that was a bit of a I was going to say, thank you, David. I was going to use a different word, but thank you.
I really feel Zoom's documentation has gotten worse. I would say when they started to really embrace AI, I feel like a lot of their documentation is AI generated, and it's just not as good as it used to be.
But it seems strange, Frank, because surely the support staff would be using the same documentation. And if they're not, then they have the good documentation. They just haven't used it to
They have this.
update.
They have the service desk documentation. They probably got internal documents that aren't public facing.
Okay. Okay.
There used to be a whole team of people who did documentation at Zoom, and I remember they restructured and some of them got transferred to other groups and stuff. I don't know what's the current situation, but
Okay.
I don't like their documentation as much as I used to.
Fair enough.
The documentation is out of date. They don't have enough staff. If you have a documentation issue with a proper answer, I can get it updated, but why should we be doing all the updating? They should be doing it themselves. Yes, they do have a local database where they have more information. They also have employees who have more information in their heads than in the documentation. And the last thing, just to make it more confusing, is that certain Zoomies who are not experts will always quote the documentation as if it's gospel because they don't know anything else and they've been taught that way, which of course is not good because we know the documentation isn't perfect, hasn't been kept up to date. And there are a lot of little things that seem to be slightly not working since 7 came along.
Yeah.
So there's quite a few little niggles that need to be ironed out since 7 came along.
Yeah.
And I'm glad he's not here. Otherwise, we'd be going on about it all day.
David, can I share something with you personally? Is that okay? I've literally just come back from an event that we held for the Jewish Historian Institute here in Warsaw. And the location of this event was exactly on the same place in the foundation of where what do you call it? The house of worship.
Synagogue?
The synagogue
Temple?
is, yeah, the synagogue, not the temple. Synagogue goes. They had the synagogue on one side of the street and the educational building on the second other side of the street. And during the Warsaw Uprising, during the Germans blew it up, they burnt it down. They didn't even bomb it. They burnt it down just to remove all the history of the culture of Jewish in that particular space. And this event was on that same location, physical location.
Wow.
It's quite amazing.
That's powerful.
Very powerful. I thought of you a lot.
Wow. That's amazing. Thank you. What else, folks?
Did you
How's
know
that
you
gonna-
can use notes before even joining a meeting?
If you click on that little on the floaty,
You can talk to notes without even being in a meeting.
what happens when you do that?
It just dictates as if you're in a meeting. It just dictates and takes your notes, and you can add your note to it. I can't find it on the phone yet, which would be really cool.
It'd be
That
more
would
useful
nice.
there, as a matter of fact.
Frank's going to give me the answer now.
Yeah, go for it,
No.
Frank.
No, I
Nope.
don't know the answer. I was going to ask something else.
Mr. Paskin, are you looking for notes or shall we go to Mr. Frank first?
No, go for it. Go for it. Go ahead, Frank.
Oh,
Right.
I've missed a few Friday sessions because of work stuff. You may have talked about this already. Have you guys talked about voice translator?
Oh,
Voice.
Robert perked up. Oh,
See.
even with his
I think-
hat on. Go for it, Robert.
I put
I
the
think we
link in the
did.
chat.
I think we did talk about it, didn't we? I think so.
Have you turned it on and used it?
No, I haven't tried it yet.
Wait a second. Hold on a second.
The
What
one
do
thing
we
that I
do?
find interesting, especially maybe Robert will have an opinion on this, is there's a slider where you can change the mix from the floor to the translated and in percentages. So you can say I want to hear 30% floor or 40% floor.
That's something
how
that
do we do
WebEx.
this?
That's
How do we
something that
turn this
WebEx. Yeah, go for it.
Is there like a back end?
Yeah, it's a back-end thing. I put the link in the chat, but I have a feeling because your meeting's in progress, it may not take effect unless you end the meeting.
Right.
But WebEx has that slider as well, and people love it when they understand how to use it. But then what happens is they switch over, and then when the language changes, they complain that they can't hear anything. And there's a real issue with that.
What is it called? It's not translation. What's it called?
The live translator.
Voice translator must be enabled, is what it. If you go to that Zoom doc, that
voice translator. I put a screenshot of what it looks like when you're messing around with it in the chat.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's not finding anything in the account settings.
no, because must be it currently available as a beta program for eligible customers.
Oh, so I can't even get in. Okay.
Frank is eligible.
If you have it, it's in account settings, in meeting advanced. So account management, the meeting tab, and then it's in the advanced section.
I like the idea. I think we talked about this or something similar to it.
So on a related note, the thing that John did earlier with his AI avatar, and also with this service, it's beta, so you can use it for free, but there's a date mentioned, and then after that you can incur charges.
Right. I wonder though, how do we? I don't. How do you get on the beta? I don't know how to. Does it say in the doc how you get on the beta? I don't know. Copy link. Hold up. Use voice transfer for meetings. Oh, this is brand new. This is 3 days ago. Free for 60 days. Eligible customers will have access to 5 hours of voice translator every 30 days during the beta program. Okay. If you'd like to, during the an admin can manually enable the voice translator setting anytime after March 23rd. Okay. So how do I do that? More. I don't understand. Organization. If your organization would like to evaluate voice translator during the beta program, an admin can manually enable. Oh, maybe that's not an org admin. Maybe that's like a Zoom admin. I think.
I can see it in my control panel. It's account management, meeting advanced, in meeting advanced.
All right, hold on. Account meeting.
Account management.
Sorry, where am I going again?
Account management.
In settings.
Settings, meeting, and then the advanced section of meeting.
Where the heck is account management? Oh, there it is. Okay, I'm in the settings. And then where?
In meeting, advanced.
Oh, you know what it is?
You could Google, just search it in the searchy thing with voice translator.
Yeah, but
If you look for it.
No, see, nothing comes up when I search for voice translator.
Then you may not have it yet, or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't have it either.
Voice recorder. No, I do not have it.
So with Zoom, sometimes I turn these things on and I'll try them, and then I'll turn them right back off because even clips, I think our account gets 5 clips a month, yeah. or three clips per user per month. What use is that to someone who likes it? They're going to be so frustrated, right?
Yeah.
So we just keep those things hidden because we're not going to spend any
but
extra money.
You're in an enterprise plan, I assume. So if you're on the, because there are 2 levels of clips.
Yeah, we have the basic.
Right, there's standard and there's pro or whatever you call it.
Whatever it's called, yeah. They change the name so often.
So, but I'm surprised that on that you would be limited? What, like, why wouldn't, as enterprise, why wouldn't you have pro for all of your
Because there's
users?
different kinds of enterprise. We're on education enterprise, but
Okay.
what Zoom does quite often is they change their packaging. It's kind of like your cable company. Here's what the standard package is this year. Oh, you want that? That's an add-on. That costs extra. So Zoom has told everyone the education packages are being phased out. They're called legacy, and once you conclude your contract, there's a new Zoom education enterprise bundle, and it costs a lot more. So, and then it's going to be more of an all-you-can-eat, but you got to pay for it. And so even if you don't think some features have value, you can't get away from them. You have to pay for them, or it's built into the total ownership or whatever. But it's unfortunate.
So
I
this-
think they're going to lose a lot of customers because they're making it too expensive.
So Zoom Clips Plus, I'm looking at one of their pages here. They have a whole page dedicated to Zoom versus Loom, which I think is interesting. So Zoom Clips Plus is $5 to $7 per month per user. With AI included, it's $13 to $17 per user per month. Now, this is not enterprise pricing. This is just, or maybe it is. I don't know.
I use Zoom clips a heck of a lot, but I don't use the AI. I record, I talk.
Yeah, right.
I save that.
Okay.
But what you can do in Zoom clips now is you can put action buttons and things like that in it. So you can have a clip with an action button on it. Click to this to do. Yeah.
Hold on.
Unfortunately, of course, you can't run clips and Zoom at the same time because they are the same thing. But
that's why I have a separate computer and a separate.
That's why you have all these extra toys.
That's why I have it. All right, so let's go to clips. Clips. Or to clip. Okay. Let's
David,
do...
any idea why you're sending in 640 by something like ridiculously small? It's not legible at all.
I don't know. Let me see what's happening. Let's see if I can get into my...
Is this your NDI stuff?
No,
again?
this is an NDI. No.
David, double check your output res in Ecamm.
No, that didn't change. Hold on. God, I can't find... Where is... I just want my settings.
You go to the top, then you click on the settings, then you go down to the bottom, and it's down at the bottom. You click on it, and then you get the advanced settings.
Right, I got it. Statistics. Right. I'm just looking at my...
I can see you at 640 by 360.
Yep. I don't know why.
But David, you've got 26 frames per second, if that's...
Is that good? I don't know. I don't know why it's so low. It might just... My computer might just need a restart or something.
It's Claude AI mining data.
That's what it was.
Crypto
Mike,
mining.
I'm passing a host to you. I'm gonna give my computer a refresh, and I'll come back.
Alrighty.
I'll meet you back here. I'll meet you back here.
Brush its teeth, David.
Brush that teeth, David. Attaboy. Oh, and let me spotlight David. Oh, there we go. All right, we're back. All right, we're back. We'll just wait for David momentarily to make sure that he gets that apple all nicely shined up and stuff. In the meantime, any other thoughts, Frank, on stuff that you might have?
I want to go back to the voice translator for a second. I think that should be free from an accessibility point of view, because closed captions work for people who are, have hearing issues, but blind people can't read closed captions, so they should be able to listen to the things, even if it is to translate to another language. But that's my flimsy argument anyways.
Yeah, no, I agree. And or it should be, if you are in need of accessibility of that sort, you have a specialized account, like a specialized pro account that has that built into it.
Yeah, I mean, they don't give you the translated
type of scenario.
They charge for the translated captions too, so I'm not surprised they're charging for this either.
Yeah, I get a lot of negative feedback from the community that uses sign language, because the the interpreters have to buy a pro license to be able to do that. They can't do it. They can't be invited and just do it in an easy way. So it's the same thing here. It seems as if that there is Zoom charges for all of those options.
Yeah. Yeah. Frank's right that, for the accessibility people, absolutely. I totally 100% agree with that. Again, I would come across as this would not be necessarily something that you would buy online. This would be maybe something that you would actually go to a salesperson saying that, I'm officially, a blind person. Is there some sort of pro account that's for the blind? And then all of a sudden they tick the box where it automatically has Zoom translation in it or Zoom live translator in it.
There's a dignity thing though where people shouldn't have to self-identify. So I don't know, a company that talks about accessibility so much, maybe you should put a few bucks behind it instead of, trying to get $4.95 a month for something that costs them probably a few pennies.
Yeah. 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 No, you're not wrong, Frank. You're not wrong. All right. So that Apple's taking a lot longer to reboot. Is it acting like a PC? We'll see. Our PCs can sometimes take a long time, but David's infamous configurations today, maybe Claude took over when he rebooted. We'll see.
Does that one have media settings enabled? The machine he's playing with.
Define. Oh, the media enhanced. Oh.
Because my machine is jumping from 640 by 360 to 1080 by 720 at 30 frames a second. And I've got all the media features turned on at the moment.
I just have to say how impressive your background is. Did you make that yourself?
No. I've got the broken version as well.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Zoom branding on there.
Yeah. And the AI model did a good job too, Johnny, doing that.
Yeah. Look, it's all broken now.
Oh, Mr. Paskin's back. Reports, Mr. Paskin.
Well, wait a second. I got to open my whoosie what's it's now.
Thingamabobs?
The thingamabobs,
Yeah.
Let's see. So all I did is a restart. Let's see if it's any better. Oh, and I quit something else. So I'm sending 1120 by 630. Not great.
It's a step forward. Do it one more time, David. One more time.
Restart one more time.
Hey, in the Windows world, that's what everybody keeps saying. But Mr.
Yeah.
Drinkwater actually has a question for you, sir.
Are you running the media add-on?
Yeah, not on this account.
Okay.
On my main account, I am. But a wise man at our last meeting said that I shouldn't switch it too many times. I was going to switch it to the test kitchen every week, but a wise man told me not to do that. So it's on my main account.
And the wise man is running the media enhancement and is jumping between 640 and 1080. So I'm not getting a reliable send of.
So maybe it's not me. Maybe it's something going on with Zoom servers or something.
But let's just talk this through again, because if it's sending at 60 FPS, what am I getting?
But
you're just John, boring.
Yeah. Yeah. John, I thought that the only place that applied is for the host of the Zoom account owner, whoever account the Zoom meeting was scheduled on. So the fact that you and I have enhanced media add-ons and have enabled it for our use is completely immaterial to this meeting.
Yes, but because I've got that running, that's why I realized I wanted to ask what he was running on his.
Okay, but it doesn't affect you in this meeting right now.
No, but my receiving is jumping up to 35 frames per second.
Yeah. Yeah, I see that as well.
But my send resolution keeps jumping down to that 360, which made me wonder if we were all having an issue with the data going in and out. I feel
I'm sorry to change subjects. Where do we
No, please
where
do.
do you put the call to action on a clip? So I just made a 2-second clip or 4-second clip.
If you go into the edit, I really need it in front of me to remind me how I did it. I can't, can I?
All right, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
I'll find you an answer. I'll do it on another machine.
I'm
I'll give
curious.
you an answer.
Yeah. Okay. All righty.
Sorry, can we just come back to that 60 frames per second thingamajig again? Because if you're sending in 60 frames per second, David, I'm not saying you are at the moment, but had you started the meeting on that license and you were sending, what would I be getting?
You should be getting the 60, no?
Either the 60 or the lower frame rate with the
Why
lower.
would you be,
if I
it's
was
the owners, whoever owns the meeting, if they have the better quality, then that it applies to everyone in that meeting, is my
correct,
understanding.
but that's just the full high definition, correct? But if I've reduced the size of my screen, so I'm not pulling down the full height, what am I actually getting? And I'll tell you why I'm asking this question, because during the tests of the event that we had this week with on Zoom events, we had that enabled, the 60 frames per second. And when we did the tests, a lot of people were watching the webinar test on a mobile phone on Wi-Fi. And it was disastrous. We had to switch it off. So you're either getting a really high resolution, you're getting the high HD resolution at 60 frames per second, or what is my question? Does anyone know?
No, that's interesting because I know when we try that on office hours, we don't see that problem, Robert.
Yeah, but I think all the people in office hours have like a 2 gig download fiber optic.
I'm sitting on Starlink right now.
Yeah, you've got a good link.
Yeah. There are no trees in the way.
But I'm talking about people sitting at home on Wi-Fi, just on a phone, and just a.
But is that Zoom controlling that, or is that the client being able to pull at an appropriate level?
That's the client being able to appropriate level, but I'm trying to figure out what is that appropriate level, because in the past we've really understood that Zoom either sends the HD or it sends a lower resolution for the tiles. Yeah.
So you need to figure out. The person we probably need to ask is Andy to explain ladder encoding.
Yeah.
Breaking news. We have Andy that is now chiming in, and the official answer is enhanced media does not apply to webinars at this time. So if you had issues in a webinar, then it's unlikely to be related.
Ah, okay. Okay. But the workaround is we actually dropped the HD down to 720 and everyone was fine. Which was interesting because I've never come across this before. Or maybe you didn't pay too much attention to whether the attendees can see properly or not before.
As we're jumping around madly, David, would you like to see how you do your thing in clips?
Yes, please.
Okay. So here's a clip I produced earlier. And all I did was click on this little cog icon in the top right-hand corner.
Add call to action button.
And then you can click on the add call to action button, put your link in, put the button text in, and then it appears like it does there on the left-hand side. And I can change the color of it if I want to as well.
So you clicked on you opened
on the cog
clip.
On the cog in the top right-hand corner that says settings.
Oh, I see it. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
And then advanced settings. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
And the advanced settings is people can actually comment on it, so it becomes a living document, which is
right.
Getting really interesting now, what they're doing with it. And of course, if I'd stopped sharing in the middle of presentations on Production Studio, Mike would have just said that it's crashed.
Yes.
Because if you have a live item that disconnects, the system has no fallback, so it crashes. So if you're screen sharing and all you're doing is screen sharing, you stop a screen share, you crash Production Studio. If I'm on the screen and Mike's only got me on the screen and I decide that I'm bored and I go backstage, it crashes.
I'm sorry. If you're sharing your screen,
if you're sharing a screen,
and then you stop sharing your screen in Production Studio, it crashes Production Studio.
Yes.
If
Does it
you
crash
are
the meeting?
No, nobody knows it's crashed. It just crashes
Okay.
because it's got no fallback. If it's just got a big screen share, there's nothing to fall back on. If there's two of you on the screen and one of you leaves, it can fall back to one person. But if the last person just leaves the meeting or goes backstage and disappears from, the stage, Production Studio's got nothing to produce now. It's got nothing to fall back on, so it just crashes and just leaves the system.
Yeah, where it should automatically go to preview, it does not.
Why should it go to preview? There's no one else in the meeting. There's nothing else being shared.
Well, it should go to something. It shouldn't just crash.
Yeah, agreed.
But again, if there's nothing in program, you should be going to preview. That's normal video switcher language. So yes, if all of a sudden the output died going into the program in very expensive switchers, it'll automatically cut to preview. It's built in.
And although we love Zoom, we do have a niggle now and again. And Ray has a niggle that you can't. Well, he couldn't find a way to get Q&A to work properly from backstage. And he raised a complaint to customer service whose response wasn't helpful. I'll just say that. So there's something that...
What was the response?
It was basically, you should be on stage to do it, not backstage.
Works as designed.
Yeah, but there is a lot of stuff like that in Zoom productions, in backstage, front stage. I mean, same thing goes with interpretation. Try and turn the interpretation on a backstage. You don't even get the functionality available to do that. You've got to move on to front stage, which is a real hassle because you'd really like to test and make sure the interpreters are working properly before you send them on stage. Yeah. So
writing that one down, Robert.
But yeah, I mean, backstage is fantastic, but they do need to make some of the functions a bit better and work better in that case. Running Production Studio from backstage has only just happened. It's a really good thing to do because running Production Studio is an editor's job and they shouldn't be on the stage in the first place, really. You don't have your video controller sitting next to the presenter. Well, you shouldn't do on the stage. So moving that to backstage is good. And there are a few, but the Q&A is just apparently not working properly. It's just not answer. You can't answer the Q&A properly in backstage at the moment for some reason. Just need to fix it really. But I'm just saying this to warn people that they might have a problem and therefore they might have to move their speakers to the stage to be able to work with the Q&A properly.
Oh, so what you're saying is that if a panelist is in backstage and wants to answer a question in Q&A by typing in the answer, then it doesn't work.
It's a little bit more complicated than that, but it doesn't work the way he was having questions stranded and things. That's how he described it. So it's not working as expected.
Okay. Okay. Because usually the panelist gets the option of answering the question or typing in the answer, correct?
Yeah. Choose to answer live or type an answer in.
Yeah. So it's okay.
Which is a shame because that feature is really powerful and really works well.
It depends if like there's two schools of thought here. You like the backstage. I actually like the front stage on stage. So
I suppose I even compare it, Robert, to when I used to have a multi-meeting system of my own, and therefore everybody who wasn't on stage doing the presenting could be in this backstage place which I created using another meeting, and they could discuss things, they could plan things, they could answer Q&A between them, they could answer chat between them, they could talk about it, they could compare notes before they answered things. And of course, you can't do that unless you do backstage on the new system, because you won't be able to talk without being heard by other people.
Yeah.
But
I understand where you're coming from. I'm just saying that the two schools of thought here.
Yeah, yeah. It's an amazing package.
It is. I love it. I tell you, since they took Zoom Production Studio into the cloud, it's become the best thing since baked bread.
I've never had the chance to use it because I'm with an eCam.
Well, do you do webinars?
No.
Yeah. I can't imagine you doing a webinar, David. I mean, you speaking to no one and having no one react to you.
Which is why I don't understand webinars. I've never understood webinars. Never understood webinars. How do you not, like, I don't know.
There is a mathematical point somewhere, depending on your audience and depending on you, where you can get more feedback from an audience that you can't see on Zoom compared to an audience that you can see in a stadium.
Sure. It's why when you're teaching or when you're presenting, you ask people to turn their cameras on, because you want to see that. You need that feedback.
Yeah, we had a guy who came into the Zoom community who said he wanted a function to force people to have cameras on, and if they didn't have cameras on, they weren't going to be allowed in the meeting because he wanted them to interact.
Right.
And then a week before that, we had somebody who said that they wanted to have meetings with cameras off. I thought that was webinars, but never mind. Because and then it turned out that it wasn't really the cameras off she wanted. It was the fact that she kept seeing herself, and she didn't realize you could turn off self view.
To hide self view, right?
See, because otherwise you're looking at yourself all the time just to make sure you look good, and it looks a bit weird.
Well, that's why hide self view, I think, is really important for a bunch of folks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I used NVIDIA's broadcast last week before my Windows machine crashed. And the only feature I found of it really useful was the eye one. So it would change my image so my eyes were looking at the camera all the time.
Huh.
So I was able to read off screen, and it's quite good.
Is that because you could do something else while you were talking to people?
Yeah. It means instead of having to look at you, I can look at a screen or read something, or even read not have cheaper than having a display, isn't it? You can just go over here and you can just doing this. But as long as you keep your head in the general direction, it works well.
Isn't that the general definition of ADHD? That you want to run away from what you're doing to do something else because you're not really interested in what you're doing, but you feel you have to do it, but you do something else to keep yourself busy and happy at the same time.
Sorry, I went off to something else to do something else at the same time then and didn't hear that.
Nothing.
ADHD is the only disease I've ever had because it's the only one I can spell properly.
I can't do that.
I'd be a sociopath if I could spell it, but ADHD will do for now.
Oh my goodness. Oh, it's 5 o'clock. Mike, where are you? It's almost time for the package.
I'm here.
It's almost time.
You missed Mike dancing earlier.
Dancing?
Yeah. To the Production Pros theme tune.
Yeah.
We got this really cool guitar riff in it. It's really nice. I'm tempted to go to my big lockup and go and get my guitar so I can dance to it next week.
David, before you go, can I share something with you? Look at this.
Ooh, nice.
But that's not the best part. Look what's written at the top. Oh,
I'm not really. I need one of those. That's great. I love it.
And that's how you fool the security people when you actually start walking into areas that you should not belong, because it has that little. Well, you didn't see the clause at the top that says "I'm not really." You're the one that just saw event staff and you let me through.
I'd have it on the back so as you walk away, they realize they shouldn't have let you through.
That's even better. That's even better. Absolutely. Oh, I got to do this for David. Let's see if I'm going to break things.
I'm ready.
Oh, let me hit the button. It worked. Look out. If anybody has kablam, look at that ATEM doing pretending it's ECAM. And you two can actually ask us questions as well. And grab David before he leaves from our friends on YouTube. And let me know in chat. Oh, too late. As I said that, I heard David left.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, no, you're there. Okay.
I'm still here.
Excellent. Actually, we haven't heard from Sebastian. He's been very quiet and one of our new people here. Sebastian, are you available to talk to us? Oh yeah, no, actually, you have been talking to us. Sorry, that's right. I wasn't used to you being off camera. Your icon. Sorry. Oh, and he's like our newbies and everything else. You're on mute. Try that again, Sebastian. Take two.
There you go.
All righty.
My thing didn't work. Yeah, I was just setting up my lights, and so I have to turn up the camera off.
Yeah, no, understood. No problem.
Yep.
Hasmuck's still with us. Look at that boy, Hasmuck. Are you fiddling? Have you been fiddling with the camera? Is that what you've been doing?
I've been talking to ChatGPT.
And who's winning? We need to know who's winning. That's the important thing. We need the under over.
No, I get a bad vibe with this mobile operator because they're enterprise Teams user. And I had a meeting with the cybersecurity team today. And within their own firewall, anybody can join any Zoom link through a browser. Obviously, they cannot download the app.
Yeah, so that would be a domain thing that they've restricted on the actual physical PCs. Mm-hmm.
So I said, okay, so what's the cybersecurity issue here? I said you could include a single sign-on capability based on your. Well, this is what my son suggested. Him being with Mimecast said that, and then he also suggested give them the hosting rights, so they start the meeting and they the host, and it's their account. And I can join the meeting and cut the show accordingly.
Sure. Yeah. Again, you would just need to be minimum co-host or promoted to host.
Exactly.
You know, where they at least started as, and they make it as host, but you would just need to be promoted to host. Yeah.
Now the single sign-on story. I mean, I know Zoom supports that. Is that linked to the internal? What do they call it?
Domain controller.
Active Directory.
Active Directory.
Yeah. Domain controller. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So anyone in any of the business, if they're not present in the Active Directory list, then they will not be able to join the meeting, I assume.
Why are you worried about this? Why don't you just run it on a browser? Have all the attendees on a browser?
No. I'm not worried about anything.
I would run it all on the browser. I wouldn't get into the conversation about the cybersecurity guys, because they will just find reasons to complain to justify their jobs.
Of course. Yeah. They did so. Not successfully, but they did. So if everybody signs in with a browser, then the single sign-on story is not a factor. Is that correct?
Correct. You just get a list of all the people, send them out invites, and then they just click on their personal invite link and they join through the browser.
Right. Okay.
So it'd be this. So Hasma, it'd be the same URL that would pop up into a browser, and then of course they would try to download the client. It wouldn't work, but this is where you click on the part that says join meeting via browser.
And I think there's a little setting you need to change so that when the page opens, it says download from browser, and you can then go straight into browser.
Right. Yeah. So the light bulb went on in Zoom Test Kitchen 2-3 weeks ago when somebody mentioned, why don't they just join with a browser instead of through trying to download the app? So the POC we ran so far, we did get them to download the app, but they did it outside the firewall. So they did that on their own devices, and they all joined the meeting with their own devices. So I explained to the cybersecurity team this morning that they can just join with browser. So I think where they got to the point was more about the content sharing, what sort of level of content, meaning that they have a grading on sharing things in a meeting that are public knowledge and sharing other meetings at the other extreme, which are corporate sensitive. So I said, look, the information shared thus far in the 5 POCs we ran, there's no amount of you being able to contain that information. You send it to the stores anyway in a PDF document. So how the heck do you control it? So anyway, that's the reason why I bring up, in ChatGPT, I put in ChatGPT to say, I use Zoom ISO for my meetings to ISO participants. What is the equivalent methodology for Teams? So it first suggested NDI as an option, and then it suggested a more what they call broadcast quality option, which is using multiple ISO machines. So I guess for every guest, you join the same meeting from a dedicated machine and pin that individual, and that becomes a camera feed into your switcher. And then you can obviously graphics overlay that. I think I'm more or less correct in my assumption. So that kind of works for, let's say, if I have 3 or 4 folks who are going to be speakers. So if I know there's 3 or 4 speakers, then I can at least have 3 or 4 machines for each speaker. The problem I have, and where I use Zoom ISO very powerfully, is when a question is asked and somebody puts up their digital hand, it's of course in Zoom ISO, it's really easy to ISO that individual and put them into a super source in the meeting. So my conundrum was, okay, if I'm not going to relent, I'm just going to say to him, look, it's Zoom, or else you don't have this opportunity to galvanize your channel team. But I guess if let's say I had to relent to the team's environment, and somebody in the so I have four talents and I have 4 ISO machines, but then somebody asks a question in the meeting, and so I guess there would be another machine for person asking a question, pinning that person, and then feed them in as a super source, which is easier said than done if you have 600 people.
Why are your speakers going to be on another platform?
No. I'm saying if I go whole hog Teams instead of Zoom.
All right. Yeah. Teams you can NDI outsources to places, and then you can bring it in and make it.
Yeah. So ChatGPT even says that's not the most stable or reliable.
No, it isn't. And the whole point is that you've demonstrated something that looks really cool and really effective in Zoom. And so turning it into Teams is just a stupid suggestion.
Exactly. Well, that's what ChatGPT suggests. If you use ISO machines, you will then at least get good clean feed with good resolution.
Yeah.
And you may even have to crop that pinned image.
This is going back to the days during COVID.
Exactly.
Where there was like pinning farms. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Where you would have 5 or 6 outputs machines. Or 5 or 6 laptops, and you'd do the 5 or 6 outputs, and then you bring that into an ATEM.
Okay.
And then, but you're constantly somebody's pinning and unpinning people.
Right?
So machine.
Yeah. So if you have predetermined number of speakers, then you know that those are the folks you pin up front. They're already ready to go. But if you have a open forum where somebody puts up their hand or asks a question, then you have to have that pinning exercise. And now if you have 600 people in the meeting and you want to pin this one individual, I don't know how Teams handles it. Because I don't play too much with Teams, is there such thing as raising the hand? And do they also come up in the top left corner, I suppose, like Zoom does? Then maybe pinning them becomes an easier exercise. So I'm just exercising my little brain.
No. Stick to your guns. Stick to your guns. Stay with what you know that works. That's what you're an expert is.
I know.
Yeah.
If you want me to drive down to their offices and go and beat them up for you, or just have a conversation with them, I'm quite happy to support you on this. But no, don't be pushed into using Teams when you know it works in Zoom, and that's why you've won the contract already so far.
I think your big UK operator that starts with a V may just create some kind of challenges for you to come down to South Africa. I'm just joking.
Yes, but I can go to their local office, because, as I said, they used to have a call center 1 mile down the road from me, so I know a lot of people used to work there.
Yeah, I think they're still in Newbury.
But that's only an hour and a half down the road on the motorway. I'm quite happy to go down there for you and show them whatever they want to see. But
go there.
Anybody who's Microsoft House will be fed these Microsoft stories to undermine Zoom.
Yeah. What they did admit is Zoom has gone quite far from the heyday COVID days to where we are today.
All the arguments that Microsoft has are based on the days when COVID first started. Just when it was all blowing up, when Zoom was a completely different animal, and they still quote all the stories from there.
Yeah.
And of course, it's so out of date now.
Yeah. The other thing they touched on was from data security and where's the information going to be stored, or I said, look, this is, if you need to speak to the Zoom CTO, let me know. I can put in I pulled a rabbit out of a hat and I said, if you need to speak to the CTO, I can arrange that for you, but I don't understand where you're going with this. So their issue, if it's an enterprise version of Zoom, which is run, hosted, and where's it will be, so software as a service kind of model, that's more or less that road they went down. So my thinking was, okay, so what's so different about Teams? Isn't that anyway? So I am a little in a gray area at the moment, and I agree with you. I'm not going to relent. I'll just find another operator that will be happy to go along and say, okay, are we doing it successfully? But let's see how it works.
There's a version of Teams called Teams for Government. You have US government departments running on Zoom. You have
on Zoom. You said Teams.
And
you said
well, no,
Zoom.
you have Microsoft houses within the government as well. You have a version of Teams that works in the government where they've manipulated it.
Sure.
There's a copy. There's a version of Zoom that runs in government which they've manipulated and taken things out. There's a different version for Frank for the educational world. But at the end of the day, it's still the same software.
Yeah,
it might have a feature taken out or a more secure server for government. But at the end of the day, we're all using the same software, bugs and all.
That's my point.
Yeah. And I know that, Robert, you've in the past, and then this is your segue, sir. Please give Hasmus some interest because I know you've been doing other things where I've heard before on Zoom's Test Kitchen. I did everything in Zoom and then I just brought it into Teams. I don't want to steal your thunder.
I've been listening to you, Hasmuk, because very, very carefully, because I have not succeeded in doing what you want to do.
Okay. You mean with Teams?
I have not succeeded in getting organizations that are Microsoft Teams embedded. I'd say it's embedded because there's no other way of describing it to move across onto Zoom. However, what I have succeeded in doing is to get all of the people who are speaking to come onto Zoom. The organizations have allowed me to do that, producing in Zoom and then pushing that into a MS Teams meeting.
Okay.
And the way that I sell that is that all of your users within the meeting are within your security framework. You can invite them by groups, by departments, by countries, whatever you want, the normal way you do it on a meeting, because they have all the groups defined. It's very easy for them, and that's really important for them, because sending out a spreadsheet with emails for someone to import is just not acceptable. It's a no-go.
Right.
And that's the only thing that I've succeeded in, and I've succeeded in it because, one, we do the interpretation for them in Zoom and push it through into Microsoft Teams. And Microsoft Teams has been designed to work with an external interpretation suite of apps or systems. Yeah, so it works well in that way. The other thing is, I would not even try to compare what they do or discuss with the security issues, because I don't believe that it's a battle that you can win. I'd much rather win the war, which is the war that I want to get in and I want to get some of your money, than trying to win the security battle. I just have not succeeded, Hasmuk. So I'll be interested to see which way you go on this. Yeah. But what is really, and I think John said this, and I'd like to reiterate it. What was been my key selling point is that when they see the production that we give them, then they don't want to go backwards.
I think the cyber team said there's obviously a business case. Okay. And they saying that because of my relationships at a particular level in the company. And so, okay, if the CEO said this is really good for us, then maybe we should now figure out. So they asked me the question today, Doc, can you explain the business case? So I said, this is what the CEO said in my meeting. So I'm not sure how you want me to explain the business case any further. Okay, we understand that. There's a very short discussion on the business case. So they felt a little pressured.
But I think you need to give them something, Hasmukh.
No. That's my point. That's my point. So when the speakers, you said that they were in a Zoom meeting and you patched them into the Teams by switching them into Teams. Those speakers, how would they actually see the participants in the meeting at the site or office that they are in? Meaning that this will probably all, I'm trying to figure out my approach based on being remote rather than being on site at the facility of the customer.
Who do they want to see?
Well, they part of the selling point is that as talent, you able to see the participants in the meeting, the folks from all your different facilities.
Yeah, it's kind of the same question that I asked earlier.
Yeah.
About how to bring back the gallery, how to bring back the chat.
Yeah.
Because
so
those participants on Zoom are not going to be able to see the chat either.
So I did ask somebody somewhere, how do I get a return feed to the talent? And even with Zoom, if I ISO somebody asking the question, it'd be nice if I could have a return feed to the talent so that they see that one individual. Obviously, latency and all the other complications do come into place. Or even if I'm sending tiles as a return feed instead of the vanilla gallery view. So I'm sort of grappling with all of these permutations. But my understanding, Robert, is that if you're using the Zoom, if you get a talent into Zoom and then feed that into Teams, that particular talent is not really seeing the folks in the meeting.
No, but I don't know how these meetings are being held, but with the majority, and I say like 99% of my meetings, my events, the panelists don't really want to see the attendees. They're not interested in them. To be very blunt.
Right. Yeah.
The questions that come through, they either come through the Q&A, and the majority of them are anonymous.
Sure.
Yeah? Or they use an external app. Even using Teams, they'll use an external app to do a Q&A or a poll.
Right.
So I don't have that issue. But if you were to ask me how I do it, I think the easiest way would be to give them a second laptop that is connected to
that's
Teams.
A second. Yeah. That's exactly.
The other thing you can do is send them back. So you connect. You send NDI from Teams to that Zoom ISO, and you make that the camera of the Zoom ISO meeting, what they're gonna see. So you spotlight the camera of your Zoom ISO, and that's what they see. So they're gonna see the gallery coming from Teams.
Yeah, but that's tricky. I'll tell you why that's tricky, because the gallery has a limited amount of participants.
Exactly. Yeah, they're only going to see one page. Yeah, they're only going to see one page.
And they have no control of it. So that's why I say maybe you have a different type of panelists.
Imagine Apple is now connecting all the staff in the stores for 1 hour, and let's say they're having a power hour, and the strategic objective is to build a community of all these different stores so they get to know each other. So they compete, but at the same time, you want to promote collaboration to challenge common operating practices. You want to then create enthusiasm by holding little competition and prizes, and they can then get devices as a freebie. You want to highlight challenges and you want to highlight successes. So it's I call it a rah-rah emotional, motivational hour, which this one particular executive has realized the power of that, because it takes the field service team 2.5 months to cover all those stores by physical visits. How they achieve motivation, nobody knows, because there's no, and most of these folks in the stores never ever see an executive. So it's a two-way communication, because the executives is now getting feedback from the ground, real practical operational feedback, and the folks in the stores are getting direct responses for certain operational kinks. This doesn't work. How are you going to fix that for us? So there's a commitment at the highest level to attend to operational issues. And that's what motivates the entire workforce.
Okay. But I hear what you're saying, but the image that I get in my head when you say this is that the user at each location is a group of staff and not the individual members of staff.
Correct.
Yeah, so there's a group of people and they're sitting together in one room. They're looking at a camera. Yeah? And so it's like a town hall effect where you see everyone, and if someone wants to speak, he has to walk out in front of a camera to the microphone, speak, and then walk back. So that's actually quite easy to do when you think about it, because how many of those how many instances are you going to have of that?
Right. So the POCs we've done, the proof of concepts we've done so far, every individual was in the meeting from their own devices. So some may be in the store, some may be at a different location, some were in their motor vehicles, and they nudged on the side road and they were participating in that meeting for an hour. So we deliberately suggested that everyone joins the meeting from their own devices for the data analytics to say this individual did attend the meeting and they were present for the entire hour, or they were there just for 5 minutes.
Okay, I get you.
So then they use that data
to
say, okay, your store is not performing because you're not participating in.
Okay, I understand that part of it, but how do you define the participation of an attendee in the meeting?
How do I define their actual participation? So, well, first of all, being in the meeting with their own login, right? Two, we ask them to switch on the camera at least once so we can validate. Okay. And the validation and confirmation is done by the field salespeople who know all the staff in the different stores. So the field staff managers are closeted in a room and say, okay, that person is legitimate. So we don't have folks, because we didn't include that you have to be logged into your Zoom account to join the meeting. We haven't done that yet, and neither did we do registration. So, but the validation is done by the entity itself.
Yes. So they take a picture of the layouts and then they verify the people afterwards.
Exactly.
It's too dynamic to verify them on the group.
Exactly.
But who are they actually listening to? They're listening to the CEO who's speaking to them?
They listen to, usually they have a host. And for the first 3 POCs, the hosts manage the entire 1 hour. And in the last 2 POCs, the hosts invited other divisional specialists. So let's say somebody who looks after fiber to the home and now spends 10 minutes kind of getting their opportunity to ensure that division is successful in their product or their service, because the store sells everybody's products and services, even within the same operator.
Okay, and where does that person who is giving that talk speak from? Does he know that he's going to talk?
Yes.
So you can literally, if he knows that he's going to talk, you can literally imagine that there's a one Zoom workstation or Zoom room where the people who are going to be presenting go to and the location, and you've solved the security problem.
So
because you need one for each location. That's all you need.
Right. The speakers are all in the same location.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's getting easier.
The speakers are all in the same location. In fact, they're huddled in the room, and I then again insist, don't use the boardroom facilities to engage. Everyone must be on their own device. So that works quite well. So all the speakers are in the same facility.
I think you've nearly got it, because if what you're saying that they're all in the same facility, that is the Zoom meeting that you're pushing out and
into Teams.
Into the MS Teams, where you have all of the attendees, and the screen that they're looking at has the Teams meeting with all of the attendees that they want to look at.
Sure. We can set that up.
That's an easy fix. That's an easy one to do. I would find a simple thing that they'll actually accept before you go into the real sexy things. So.
Yeah. I think you've kind of highlighted. I suppose we are like Zoom evangelists. It works Zoom ISO and tiles, and this is the way it works. And I'm not saying we are emotionally trying to ram it through the enterprise, take this or leave it, But I think you highlighted something very important. Give them something. And I think it's the content and the outcome of it, which is important initially. Forget the tech. And then if they understand that a slight change in the tech can even enhance the experience, maybe then they would be a little bit more. So I think I need to reverse my thinking and say, I need to prove the business case and not the technology.
You need to take your nerd hat off.
That's what Zoom Test Kitchen does to you. Kyle, do
No,
you
it's
blame
not.
me?
Actually, it's not Zoom Test Kitchen. It's Office Hours that does this to you.
That's right.
Yeah. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
We are OGs, and you know,
When I
it
take
is
my
what it
nerd hat
is.
off, this is what it looks like.
Yeah, there was, what the OGs say, it is what it is, my friend. It's just business. Sorry.
Yeah. No, Hazmat, that was really good for you and Robert to go through this, because that is very important to understand that, what we can do in Zoom is so powerful,
Yeah.
but yet what we can bring it out of, right? So you can do everything in Zoom and send it really anywhere. So you got to think about it even at a television studio situation. They're bringing everybody into Zoom, but they're bringing everything out to whatever they want.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So this is where, again, your mentality of running into, okay, I can do everything in Zoom. I can do everything really sexy looking in Zoom. Where am I going to send it to now? Is it going to stay in Zoom? That's ideal. But now I'm forced to take it out of Zoom and bring it into a Teams. Teams, again, is not much different than you sending a feed to YouTube, in theory.
Yeah.
It's just a different, it's an encoder, and I'm going to get a little techie here for us in techies. You're sending the video and audio feed from Zoom into an encoder or a piece of software that's taking that audio and video feed and doing what with it? Sending it where? Is it going into Teams? It can go into Twitch. It can go into LinkedIn.
Sure.
It can go into YouTube, right?
Sure.
That's where that's so you've got to, you do everything in Zoom, still keep everything in Zoom. Ideally, you want them to stay in Zoom because now you have the extra functionality of, if you want to accidentally bring in somebody that's already a person that's in the crowd that all of a sudden wants to ask the CEO a question, yes, it's going to be more easier for me to do in Zoom. Is it still going to be, am I still going to be able to do it in Teams? Yes. But now this is where you're now doing the pin farm scenario of now like two extra machines that are now pinning people from Teams, so you can have that actually back in your Zoom production, right? Yeah. So you're just taking video feeds in and out of things. And this is what the broadcast world has been doing for decades, of bringing in satellite feeds, from, all of a sudden you're doing news at a location, they would have a satellite truck that would drive up and they have to beam it up somewhere and they have to bring it back in again. And it's just gear at both ends that brings it in. Yeah, go ahead, Robert.
Yeah, but Hasmak, now I'm thinking about it. You know what will also be the icing on the cake, if you do it this way, is when you provide the recording from Zoom.
Right.
When you provide the recording from Zoom, the quality is going to be so good compared with the quality of their Microsoft Teams meetings. That they'll see the difference. There's nothing. It hits you harder when you see these two images next to each other.
and especially if we do post-production on it, then that. I was gonna say, they say with age comes wisdom, and I think I'm entitled to a certain amount of wisdom. What I realized that when I was speaking to the very senior executives about this approach, and I think what switched them on was the graphics. So the fact that there was a lower third with the name and the title, and the logo at the top right with the brand, which looked really broadcast quality compared to the way they do it right now. It's just a Teams meeting, everybody looks the way they look. And we've obviously spent a little bit of time coaching the talent of framing and lighting and all that kind of stuff. So
and not using a background and having ghost heads.
Especially that. So, in fact, what I do is when I when you have the medical events, I actually go through an orientation with every one of them. So if it's 140, I have like 5 or 6 meetings to go through all of them. And I always end off with saying, do not use virtual backgrounds. And then what I do is I show them all our politicians on TV and senior executives. And I said, this is so humiliating. This is so just not on. And some of them said, yeah, but Doc, you keep picking on politicians. I said, no, just wait a minute. Here's a businessman. And I said, you know, that businessman, his hair is as short as mine and he's bald as I am. But just look at the virtual background and what it's doing. And I have this classic clip where this guy's hair is standing up, literally standing up. And as he's moving down, the hair goes down and up. And I said, tell me, if you look at this, what is your impression? And they were found it more comical. And I said to them, you know, when you're actually listening to the lecture, you will be more mesmerized by the gymnastics of the hair rather than listening to the content. And that kind of rams home and nobody thus far, all the events I've done in the medical, nobody uses virtual backgrounds.
Yeah, but 90% of people on Teams use virtual backgrounds.
I know.
It makes it even worse than it actually is.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah, thank you so much for... Well, I mean, I feel I've been to a psychiatric session, so that's been very helpful.
Yeah, we're the Zoom Test Kitchen therapist. Yeah.
Yes.
You've had your therapy lesson for this week, Hesba?
Yeah.
And even Mr. Idelson even came to visit you because he heard you on YouTube so long that Mr. Idelson even showed up to even...
I heard you on YouTube and decided that I could use the same therapy. You were talking about, this is what happens to my hair. The virtual background actually cleans it up, but this is my real background now.
Yeah. No, thanks, guys. That I think the key paradigm here was what Robert said. Give them something. And I think I need to focus on what I'm trying to achieve. And that is the value of this event. So they have TV broadcasts in the stores. Every morning there's a TV. I said, nobody watches it. Nobody's listening to it. But more important, nobody can ask a question. So it's not interactive at all. Right. And so I said, it's all asynchronous content delivery, and you're spending lots of money producing these shows, and you have no idea who's listening. So how do you actually measure the return on investment in all of this? So I said to them, imagine this is a broadcast on steroids, so here you have the ability for your participants to interact with you, and you get feedback and they get feedback. And I think whether it's Teams or Zoom, I need to win that particular mindset battle from a business case point of view first, and then worry about the rest.
Yeah, and Hasbeth too, what you might want to what you might want to check too is that depending on the equipment they already have at each location, you never know. The capabilities of Zoom might be already built in. They've just disabled it.
Yeah. No, in fact, they've asked me to help them build a small studio at the head office. So I'm planning to set that up and then have at least one technician. So make sure the lighting is good, they look good, and each talent sits in the golden throne and delivers. Part of the wisdom is that as you move up the echelons and tier of any institution, you meet Mr. and Mrs. Ego quite openly, you know. So if you know how to massage that, you can most times get your argument across.
Yes. And my suggestion too is become friends with the head of marketing.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they're the ones, because they're going to dictate to you, if you're making a studio, that the Vodafone logo's got to be just here. It's going to be X, Y, or whatever the brand is.
Yeah. Let's forget the name we mentioned. It's just this company called V for Victory.
Right. Yeah. So the victory, make sure that their victory color that might be red or another color is, in the studio. Again, the marketing people, in my experience, doing a lot of corporate stuff, if the marketing department is happy with you because you make the marketing people look good,
exactly,
you're in. You're Hasma. Yeah, we're doing blah 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 blah. They're not worried about the CEO anymore. The CEO goes, head of marketing, if you're happy because it's our brand and you're making the brand look good,
absolutely,
it's
absolutely.
all about that. Go, John.
My latest attempt of doing this was a very interesting one with a senior member who basically wrote everything. And we were doing emails back and forth in a meeting. And we took one of his emails, doubled some of the lines, put in random quotation marks, shifted fonts, and gave that email back to him and said, could you really help us with this? And he goes, well, this is trash. Fit it back so I could read it. I said, oh, excuse me, this is what you look like with your virtual background. a light bulb went out on his head when he saw that. But he was such a print person. And he said, I can't look at it and read this. I said, well, that's exactly how you look with your virtual background. And so that removed the virtual background.
Yeah, it's all about relating to the right people. And Hasmuth, you got to speak marketing to the marketing ladies and gentlemen too, right?
Yeah, no, in most of my orientation meetings, even I've done a few with corporates as well, our national television is a kaleidoscope of entertainment in terms of virtual background. So all I do is I take out my iPhone and I have like half a dozen clips and all recognizable individuals of national prominence. As this is a very important, prominent individual. But when you look at them on the telly with their virtual background, do you take them seriously? Really?
Good one. Yeah, go, Robert.
Mike mentioned the marketing people. My experience with my clients, and I'm sure this is a different market than Mike's, so I'm not trying to compete with you, but it's the PR person that is the decision maker and not the marketing person.
Sure.
The PR person is the person responsible for how we come across. And they understand what needs to be done. And but if you ask the right questions, what they're looking for, they'll usually tell you.
Yeah, go ahead, John.
I was just a footnote to mine that this person that we did this with accused me, I can't even do the right finger. He said, you're critiquing me and you have a flamingo on your set.
The answer is at least it's in focus.
It's a little soft.
It's not. But it's not virtually back there.
No, this is real. There's nothing.
Yeah. All the next time would be, at least I can go back there and pick it up. If you want me to bring it closer, I can show it to you.
John, I can see the individual strands of hair on your head, so it's good.
That's why I do this hair this way, just to prove I'm not a virtual background. Some people, can't even do that because they're more aerodynamic. But this is you can't do this with a green screen. Well, actually, you can with an ultramat and proper lighting.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm just double checking to see if we actually have any questions. Okay. Yeah. Actually, it's related to Zoom ISO version 3 beta. Is anyone using it on actual client shows as of yet for the beta? Robert, go ahead.
I haven't used it. But not because I'm scared of it. I just haven't had the time yet to do it.
Yeah. Hasmuk, have you
No.
used the beta? No, not as of yet.
No, not yet. Not yet. I'm keen to get stuck into it, but I haven't. Not yet. Okay. I'm still doing a production next week, so when you dabble with it, you have this urge to use it in your production. And no changes right now.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Again, you got to have. That's it. There is an infamous word that is in there, beta. Beta means that beta usually has another B usually associated with it on occasion, bugs. So,
but there's something really attractive about that beta because it's got the
absolutely.
I mean, just there are multiple things, but for me, from the interpretation point of view, being able to set up multiple audio outputs is just so mind-blowing for me. It's just going to be what I need. I mean, just look at this scenario where we have a big conference, we have a multiple, say, let's exaggerate and say 10 to 12 booths interpreting. So you've got 12 languages. Yeah? The amount of space 12 booths occupy, the amount of time people have to be there, the logistics that goes with it, putting in the right sort of antennas and equipment, distributing the headsets to people to get them to be able to use the equipment, integrating up to outwards if it's online. It becomes so easy with Zoom ISO, so easy. You got all your interpreters online. You got all of the language channels set up. Bring them into the room and just distribute them.
Yeah, my suggestion is if you are really intrigued to use it for an actual gig, is two things: understand that something could go wrong with it and have ISO version 2 ready, and B, don't necessarily use all the potential version 3 new features if you're more worried about reliability versus the new features. That would be my answer. The two different way I would take it. But yes, I could see where it's enticing that, yes, all the 3.0 functionality is really, really sexy and we really want to use it. But that's why it's fair that user 20113 WWS actually said, did you find it reliable? Any bugs?
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't used it, so I can't speak. But I'm just saying that it's very, very sexy in terms of the audio channels for me, because that's my main tool. Video a little bit less, but I understand and appreciate what it can do for other people. But not yet. And Mike, you know me, I don't even upgrade to the latest Zoom Workplace app like you guys do. So I'm careful on that.
Fair. And I know Robert's at least at version 7, but he's not necessarily the new version of 7. Are you on 7? Yes, you're on 7.
It takes me a while to figure out where to check now. So just give me a second.
Yeah. But yes. So if you have seen some of the new functionality, well, let's put it this way. If you have, okay, I can officially tell you if you're running 7, because if you have Production Studio Backstage, that is only a version 7 scenario. So
I did not have Production Studio and Backstage when we did the events this week, so I'm not.
Okay. No, you're still on version 6. That is that's one way to tell quickly off the top of my head. And actually, someone did actually mention that he said a comment to 2013 WWS. He says, yes, Zoom ISO has been super stable, but he does have a caveat, but keep it simple. Meaning don't necessarily overtax. Again, it's getting sort of to what I'm saying about, we know that Andy in the group has really tested version 2 functionality. But when you start getting into the version 3 additional functionality, there might not be any stability guarantees. That would be and again, of course, obviously, if you do want to have version 3, I would definitely have a hot spare of version 2 as a machine that I could fall back on if version 3 did, because it is in beta, did fall apart on you at an event.
We talked about testing it, and the way we thought about it, Mike, is that we'd run the event using version 2, and then have a separate machine just running version 3 and see how it behaves, see how it reacts. And I think that's the best way to test it, because I wouldn't like to use it live as a test bench. Yeah? But the parallel test, because the challenge here is you need to have a big enough meeting, you need to have a big enough load, you need to have the complex layouts or formats that you require to be able to test it. Otherwise, you're just playing with it, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. Go ahead, Sven.
Robert, you know, I mean, the way I've been using Zoom ISO is just really on the ISO feed, but I haven't dabbled with audio at all in Zoom ISO. You want to explain that, how you use, let's say you're using Zoom ISO, do you feed the audio in, you also leverage the audio chain in through Zoom ISO itself as well?
No, I use Zoom ISO to get the interpretation channels out of Zoom into the real world.
Yeah.
And I use it to avoid having physical booths on site, because you see the news we usually use. I don't own a system, but I work with partners who have Bosch simultaneous interpretation systems, and the newest version has Dante on it. So the trick here is to, with the version 2, is to get onto Zoom ISO, get hijack out, distribute whatever you want to onto Dante, define it properly, and then push it through the network and into the Bosch transmitting side, not the interpretation side, but just the transmitting side, so that it goes into the room. Because the Bosch transmitters use a very clever system, because they use infrared. They don't use Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, or anything. When they're in the infrared zone, you have two really good attributes there, because one, there's just no distortion at all. The sound is so clear if you do the antenna planning correctly. And the second one is you have complete privacy, because infrared won't leave the room. So even if someone is standing right outside the door, he still won't be able to hear or eavesdrop as to what's going on. But having said that, I mean, we have one extra large event every year. And this year, this extra large event is being held in a old aviation hangar. So you can imagine the size of this. Now, the height, the width, and they've got a couple of thousand people coming to this event. And just covering that with infrared, we had to send engineers there to look at the place with physical equipment and actually test it. They just couldn't grasp the how to set it up.
The scale.
So they spent a day doing that, and it turns out that in a space like that, we'd need to have 18 of the biggest antennas that they have, which is just mind-boggling. I've never seen anything like that before.
But let's say a plain vanilla meeting, okay? Everybody's in the same meeting, and one is using Zoom ISO to send it as a two-up in a super source, for example. So I know I am redoing my workflow, which I haven't executed yet, based on some office hours experts that have goaded me for a couple of years for doing it wrong. But I'm almost of the assumption that if you are take a video ISO feed of the individual, you need the audio to follow that ISO feed. And the way you follow that audio is through the audio tab in Zoom ISO. Is that correct?
Yeah. Once you define the output, you define the user in that output and the audio in that user.
In that
same one output. So
right.
So that's okay to do if you pick it up like that.
And so does that then avoid latency?
No.
No, it doesn't.
Because I never push Zoom ISO back into the same meeting because you've got the problem of you're getting double audio. I don't know how to deal with that.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's why I bought a D3 mixer that has Dante on it. So the whole setup is being done under a Dante workflow. And I think the thinking is that I've been running Zoom ISO on the same production machine or the host machine. So now I'm going to have Zoom ISO on a separate device, machine. And the way I think it's been set up is that if somebody puts up their hand, we put them into a Zoom room. And when they join that Zoom room, the way the thing has been wired, they would be able to hear and listen to the talent in that Zoom room. So the talent is in the Zoom room. And when their turn comes to engage with the talent and this person in the Zoom room are now speaking with each other. But the actual feed that goes out into program goes out through a separate broadcast machine. So what goes into program goes through a dedicated broadcast machine. And all the cutting happens pre-broadcast machine. So that's more or less the workflow that has been designed for me. And that's what I'm going to play with and experiment with.
Yeah, you're a brave man. That's all I can say.
Hasma, what I was saying before, that's exactly what you're doing, right? So no matter if you're taking all the Zoom ISOs and bringing those into the ATEM, the ATEM's doing the switching for you, right?
Yeah.
And then you're sending out of the ATEM, so your program out can go into anywhere and do anything.
Sure.
Right? This can go onto screens locally. This can go into we're going to broadcast. So you could send if somebody brought a truck, I don't know why they would still do that, but somebody could bring you a satellite truck, and you could actually give them an SDI cable out of out of the back of your ATEM. Your SDI outputs out of your ATEM could be easily sent to that many different locations. Right. And that many different PCs too, where you could actually have one Teams, one this, one that, one Zoom, it doesn't matter at that point.
I think in principle, the concept is that everybody that's in the meeting, all the participants, whatever they seeing in program is coming from this broadcast computer. That's in the meeting. Everything else is outside of that, including Zoom ISO, the graphics toolkit, everything else is done. The actual cutting of the show is done and then delivered through the broadcast computer. So, which is, as Robert says, I'm brave. I think I'm just, I've succumbed to the pressure of doing it wrong. So I have no wisdom or knowledge to challenge what I'm being told. Sometimes it's a good idea just to follow the instructions, and then you figure out afterwards, now I understand why I'm doing it the way I'm supposed to be doing
Absolutely. it. There are a lot of smart people in office hours. I'm not trying to put that. There are a lot of smart people, a lot smarter than I am.
Absolutely. I mean, I have literally been roasted a few times. I said enough's enough now. So that's why I bought a 2ME and I bought this Yamaha D3 mixer. And yeah, so it's going to be an interesting journey. And I actually bought 4 Mac Minis. So everything is going to run as an appliance. So Tiles is an appliance machine. Zoom Graphics Toolkit is an appliance machine. Zoom ISO is an appliance machine. H2R Graphics is an appliance machine. So that's really how I'm doing it at the moment.
That's the way I do it, but you just need to keep in mind one thing, Hasmat. That implies that you have 4 AV licenses.
Yeah, sure.
Sure. You just need to remember that, because it wasn't that obvious to me in the beginning. It took me a while to figure that out.
Yeah. Got you that one. Yeah.
Perfect way to wrap it up for this Zoom Test Kitchen.
Yep.
Excellent, Hasmat. Yeah. Cool. So stand by, everybody as panelists. We'll be going into the Zoom Test Kitchen lounge momentarily, but to our friends on YouTube, we're going to say goodbye. But first, it's time for Zoom Test Kitchen. That's right. Karaoke.
Welcome to the Zoom Test Kitchen, where the magic happens live. Every Friday we're on air, testing tech to thrive. From screen share to breakout rooms, we push Zoom to its max. So sit back, relax, and let's see what's in our tech hacks. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. We'll dive into the settings, explore every single tab. Make sure your mic is clear, your camera not a drab. We'll show you how to host like a pro, manage like a king. With Zoom Test Kitchen, you'll be zooming with a zing. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. Whether you're new to Zoom or an expert in disguise, we've got tips and tricks, we'll open up your eyes. From polls to quizzes, we test functionalities. Join us live, see what Zoom does with these. So if your meetings lag, or you can't share your screen, or if your audio echoes like you're stuck in between, we've got solutions, we'll show you how it's done. Zoom Test Kitchen, where Zoom fun has begun. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. So tune in, don't miss out on this tech fest we lead. Every Friday, Zoom Test Kitchen, where you'll succeed. We'll make your Zoom meeting smooth, keep the tech in check. In the Zoom Test Kitchen, we've got your back. No We're the Zoom Test Kitchen, we've got your back.
All right. I heard some of you on YouTube singing. That's good stuff. All right. Thanks, everyone, for joining us this week. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel to let YouTube and, of course, that lets Zoom know as well how much you love our content. Don't forget, we're here every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific. And, of course, check your local listings, especially for our friends out in South Africa. He knows who he is. See everyone next week for another edition of the Zoom Test Kitchen. Take care, everybody on YouTube. Off to the lounge we go.